Hey, SBG solution-based gang, like, share, subscribe. Say no to rim, brothers, mothers, fear and sell no good suckers. Hype him up, hype him up. Shouts out, Sharoon, Bracy in the waters. Wake up, morning show, salute, big dog, shout out to the Lord. PH, Diva, salute, Brownsville, SBG solution-based gang.
Let's go. Good day, everyone. Good day. Just eat some delicious food. How are we doing today? I think I finally figured it out. You feel me? We finally got it figured it out. Good day to you, Miss J. How you doing? What's up, Kim East? It took us a week, but we finally got it together. Y'all let me know if I'm coming through clear, how we looking. Okay, good. Shout out to y'all for holding me down. It took us 7 days to figure it out, but we got there. We got there together. What's up, Cassandra? How you doing? Man. What's up, CJ? Y'all held me down, so I'm gonna do it back. I got a whole job. Sheesh. It was stressful trying to figure this thing out. I ain't gonna lie. Your boy was stressed. Thank you. Thank you. Man. And today I got me some coconut water too. You know what I'm saying? I need some deep, rich water. And you know, the water tastes different over here. It tastes delicious over here for sure. Man, yesterday was interesting. I finally figured it out. I was hanging out with Ilkan and Fatty. It was an interesting show. They wanted them having their own argument. It was like their own show, and I was just a beautiful prop. You know what I'm saying? I was just a beautiful prop for them yesterday. But it was a funny, interesting conversation. For some reason, me and Fatty was on the same page, which was interesting to say the least. And so since me and him was on the same page, Ali was trying to treat me and Fatty this. It was interesting. But they worked through it. I think that he understood what we was coming through and what we was attempting to say. So I think they got it. And yeah, they was absolutely. They was definitely scrimmaging out there for sure. It was funny. It was good to see. It was good to see. It was funny. I wound up staying there and watching them duke it out. They was no man. That comprehension skills sometimes we just we lose it when we get so caught up in being correct in our own argument. We kind of sometimes forget. I think that's what happened to Ilkan Ali. He wasn't really paying attention to the words that we were using, and he just wanted to have a conversation about how he felt about the situation, and it is what it is. And then, you know, I wake up, I turn on the news, and realize the country has lost its damn mind. That was today. I'm sitting there, coffee in hand, and you know, all of a sudden I hear the anchor say, all cheerful, today. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. I'm not sure. The draft is coming back. It's like, what? What you mean that the draft is coming back for 18 to 25-year-old men? It's good. Good. So I want to know, is the draft is coming back? Is it a good thing? Somebody is screaming cat. Is it a good thing? Is what I want to know. It's supposed to be coming back in December. Ain't nobody, ain't nobody in that age group good at anything except DoorDash and disappointing their parents. You know, and and it's so interesting because America loves recycling, even bad ideas. You know, like plastic. They love to recycle like plastic bottles, aluminum cans, and apparently wars. We got a whole government that looked at the last 50 years and said, "Hey, remember Vietnam? Let's run that back." But with Wi-Fi, they're acting like the draft is a new iPhone feature. Now introducing drafts OS 2.0. Now with push notifications. You've been selected for a limited time deployment. Click accept to continue. Clip that. Good day to you, Peachy. and, and and see, the problem is like the drive worked back then when men were built like refrigerators. And they had names like Earl. Earl could fix a car, chop wood, raise family, and fight a war all before lunch. Now we got dudes named Skyler who get winning opening a bag of chips. You really think Gen Z is ready for a war? These kids get PTSD from group projects. Like Manners Fair, the Rembros, you know what that is. Red Pill, Incel, Manners Fair, these no good suckers. They get PTSD just from those group projects. Half of them can't make eye contact. And you want them to storm the beach? They be on the battlefield like, oh, can we do this over Zoom? Good day, Corinne. More business, you better get it together. I don't know what's your problem, but get it together. And so, we got this government logic. The government always tries to sell you something with a straight face. This will build character. No, I won't. You know what builds character? A job, a bill, a breakup. Not dodging bullets. In the desert, they can't even spell. Not in a desert where they can't say. Then they will try to say it's about national unity, brother. The last time this country was unified was when Netflix raised prices and we all got mad together. And the real reason, let's be honest, if the draft is back in December, it's because somebody in Washington messed up. Somebody pressed a button they shouldn't have. Somebody said something they shouldn't have. Somebody tweeted at the wrong country. And now they're looking at 18-year-olds like, hey, you busy? What up, Shiesty Bum? You see I'm back, baby. I'm talking about the drive. Shiesty, you over 25? They might come and get your ass too. Good day to you, beautiful. I know, the one thing for sure, all the men they're gonna have their kumbaya mode. They're gonna be like, see, they ain't drafting no woman. They drafting all the fellas because you know, hey, who knows? Maybe it'll bring relationships back. You know what I'm saying? So I see maybe this thing will bring back relationships. I don't know. Serve our country, son. Make us proud. That's what they used to say. That's what they used to tell the young men. Serve our country, son. Make us proud. Now parents are like, not my baby. He's gluten free. Not the gluten free man out there. Oh gosh, my bad. We're gonna start seeing moms chaining themselves to the goddamn recruiting stations. God damn it! Oh man, you know the draft lottery in 2026. What you know? I don't know what of these. I don't know what they streaming on like TikTok or you know. I don't know. Some influence would be hosting. All right, guys, smash the like button. Today we're picking who goes to war, and the comments will be like first. Ah. But the thing is, do you know who ain't getting drafted? You know who ain't getting drafted? Who's not getting drafted for sure? Who's not? What? Which men are not? Which young men, 18 and 25, are not getting drafted? Can y'all guess it? I want to see. The rich kids. The rich kids. You think those rich kids are getting drafted? Rich kids don't get drafted. They get internships. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They be like, actually, my father spoke to someone at the Pentagon, and I'll be serving in the air conditioned office division. Meanwhile, regular folks are out there like, man, I knew I should have stayed in school. And that's the thing that these people didn't realize. Even though we was telling them that whole 2 years ago, we was telling them what's going to happen. They was like, no, Sharon, you crazy. No, SBG, y'all are crazy. We told them. We tried to told them. And now we in this like this historical loop. America does this every few decades. We get nervous, we get loud, we get patriotic, and then we get confused. We start wars. Like we start diets with, you know, no plan, whole lot of enthusiasm, no plan. And every generation thinks they're the last one that have to deal with it. But history is like that one friend who keeps showing up uninvited. Hey man, remember me? Yeah, I'm back. And I bought consequences. And they are only drafted men. Woman looked at the news like, damn, that's crazy. Shicey looked at the news. She said, I'm 31, and that's crazy. That's what happened. All the ladies, all the beautiful black women that did not vote at a 90 something percent clip, they looking at like and looking at all those black conservatives like damn, that's crazy. All the black MAGA conservatives was Damn, that's crazy. Anyway, man, I'm out here Googling, bone spurs like it's a coupon code. God damn it. So the real question I got, here's my real question. Matter of fact, maybe I should put it in a poll. Maybe I should put it in a poll. The real question is, so is it a good thing the draft is coming back? Let me put that in the poll. I like that. Let me put that in the poll. All right. We're going to find out. Make sure y'all participate in the poll. That's the real question. So, is it a good thing the draft is coming back? And look, I'm not here to tell you what's good. I'm just saying, if your plan for national security is to hand rifles to a generation that can't handle spicy food, you might want to rethink the plan. Hmm. Look at Eric. Eric is crazy, especially for who? Why would you want somebody that don't care about Listen, Eric, you sound crazy. You sound crazy. Eric sound crazy as hell. What you talking about? You don't know no goddamn Candace. At the end of the day, America is like it's like that uncle that keeps borrowing money. You love him. We love you, Uncle Sam. You want him to do better. You want Uncle Sam to do better. But every time he shows up, he's about to ask for something. And now he's asking for your kids. He's asking for your kids. So so maybe, just maybe, instead of drafting 18-year-olds, we draft the people who actually started the mess. Congress on the front lines. Now that's a war to watch. Anybody would like to hit the link? Hey, I would love to hear what's your thoughts on this. The link is pinned at the top of the description. And see, here's the problem that a lot of these black MAGA people be having, or MAGA people in general, all these people that have this delusion of Donald Trump could do no wrong. They cannot, for some reason, deal with the truth and facts of the matter. No matter what he doesn't say, no matter what lie he spews out there, he they don't want to fact check. We had a show just the other day, and even though we giving out what actually happened, what is really going on, they do not want to accept the truth. They are rather be lied to. They do not want to accept what is actually happening. I don't know why. What is that? Who could do that Cardi B voice? What is that?
About to be a situation. Hey, hey, hey.
Good day. Conversations with MJ with the big old fitted. Sharon, be careful with the stream player. LOL, don't get. Don't you get your ass locked up. I ain't coming to get you. Oh my goodness. I'm glad I'm too old. My son is too old. God damn. Shout out to Phil James. What was it out of God bless the draft in the past took people of all wealth, athletes in their prime. Not saying some got oh man, I can't pronounce the word treatment. Oh man, I can't pronounce the word right now, Phil. I know exactly what you're saying. Oh man, that was too funny. That was too funny. Thank you so much. Oh, welcome to the show. Good day. Welcome to the show. Brownsville, New York. I'm getting cooked by MJ. She ain't coming to get me, cuz.
Is that right? Peace and love, cuzzo. Peace and love, man. She probably need to come get you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, listen, you gotta tread lightly, man. You in China, you know what I'm saying? It's things going on, man. So you can't, be giving away government secrets, things of that nature. But how you doing, man? How you doing this? You know what I'm saying? How's everything going in China, man?
And as well, that is beautiful. The weather is lovely. It was a nice 75 degrees yesterday with a nice breeze. Everything's going properly.
All right, so I see you ain't got your correct garments on. You know what I'm saying? When you gonna get the gi? You know what I'm saying? Listen, man. When you gonna come full force like the last dragon, man? That's what we need to see. We need to see you the next time you hit the live button. We want to see you in your full gi. You know what I'm saying? And we want to see you, full Bruce Leroy attire.
So I'm trying to find the master now.
Yeah, man, you gotta find that master, man. But yeah, man, I don't want to be rude, so let me, address the queens and the kings in the chat, man. Peace and love to all the queens in the chat, man. Anya Bracy, the SBG First Lady, Robin MDB, Shiesty Bum, Balm Cherry Juice, Rogue C, It's Me, Dr. G, Sexy Red TV, The Supreme Goddess, PH Diva, Conversations with MJ, Miss Jalen, Genesis, The Voice of Venus, The Verbal Assassin, Dawn, Renee, Keisha G, The Real Prism, Natasha Vincent, Kyron Mackey, Reese Cup, all the queens, man, all the queens. I don't want to forget about none of the queens. Every time I hit this platform, I'm making my purpose to lift y'all up, give y'all flowers, and show these men, show these knuckleheads how they should be treating the ladies, the queens, and the women on the internet, man. Peace and love to Kim West, Kim East. You know what I'm saying? Like all the Kims. And then peace and love to the Kings as well. Can't forget about the Kings. Just to add a little clarity, Cuzzo. So the draft itself hasn't been reinstated, right? You know, the last draft was in 1973 during the Vietnam War. In order for the draft to be reinstated, it takes an act of Congress, right? And then approval by the president. What they have done with the draft registration process, which is new, is they've streamlined it and automated it. Because before, and a lot of people don't know this, prior to them streamlining this system, by the end of the year, you had to manually register for the draft, right? It was a manual process that, you know, cost too much money. So they said, we're just going to automate the process. It's not anything different. It's just that now you don't have to manually register. And you know, when something breaks down, they already know, okay, I got this person here, and you know, we're going to get it together. So yeah, so it's the draft registration, not the actual draft. And in order for them to reinstate the draft, it takes an act of Congress and the president coming together. And the draft itself hasn't been authorized since Vietnam 1973, just to add a little bit of clarity, right? However, we are in kind of a weird situation right now in our political atmosphere. It is a lot of uncertainty. It's a lot of things that we should be paying attention to in terms of how, you know, the leaders of our government are moving. I do think we do need to increase our awareness to what's happening in our government, because our children can be affected by it and will be affected by it in the future if we ignore the things that are taking place and going on, right? So I do appreciate you having this show today, talking about, you know, things that are going on in the government, things that are happening. They did, you know, I guess, change the age of re-enlistment for military personnel. It used to be, I believe, 35, and they put
Yeah, I
it
think
to
35, 30.
42,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So that's something that they did have, that did happen. And they you know, remove some of the things that could you know, stop you from going into the military, in terms of like lower level marijuana offenses and things of that nature. You know, they said those things are okay too. But
Crazy. I think he's past enrollment, so I don't think he got drafted just now. He probably just got a phone call. What up, Rilla? But all these different moves, it sound a little sketchy to me. You know what I'm saying? It sound a little sketchy to me. Good day, cuz. Good to see you back.
yeah, man, I had a phone call, man. But I see you got the internet fixed. You know what I'm saying? I see you ain't breaking up no more. You know, so that's progress. Progress is being made, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, progress is being made. So how did you fix it? What you had to do?
I had to get a different laptop, pretty much. I was using a new Mac, and for whatever reason, the Mac was not working properly. Got a new laptop, got a Windows, and now we cooking with grease.
Okay, good. Now we need some of that IRL content, man. We need to see you by the wall of China. We need to see you interviewing some Buddhist monks out there. You know what I'm saying? We need to see you in the dojo training. You know what I'm saying? You know, we need to see you out there with Mr. Miyagi and all the peoples out there teaching you, you know, the kung fu and all that. Yeah, man. So, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And uh, but I think the steps that they make in turning it, you know, adding the extra age of 42, doing the automated system with, I guess, license and everything for 18 and 25. I'm glad my son reached the age. He's a little bit past that. It seems like everything is gearing up, and the way how he's communicating, and now Megan Kelly and a lot of his very long time standing Donald Trump supporters are now seeing like they starting to turn against him, and he is turning against them as well. Now all of a sudden he's calling them stupid and idiots. Thank you so much. At the Chicago River the Father. So I go to Puerto Rico, you go. I see the movement moving. Bucket list expanded. It is awesome too, Chicago River. It is not like how we have in our mind. It is completely different. It's a completely different experience for sure. It's not what at least it's not what I thought it would be.
Yeah, man. Here's the truth of the matter, right? I think a lot of people are upset about how the whole Iran Operation Epic Fury transpired, right? Um, everybody who is in tune with what went on from the beginning up until now has to accept the realization that this was a L, right? We didn't win. You know what I'm saying? We lost. You know, I believe 13 service members. Close to 400 injured, wounded, et cetera, and billions of dollars lost. And we haven't gained anything, right? You know, no concessions has been made by Iran that wasn't already in place prior to Operation Epic Fury, right? So, you know, when you consider the facts and what's happening, you know, I think people understand that we're also weaker today, right?
Really?
Because, you know, we fired some, you know, experienced strategists in terms of our generals and things of that nature because of it was, you know, conflicts of interest, right? You know, the people who are qualified to make these decisions and they're in those war rooms, right? They have to consider the totality of the circumstances before they authorize, hey, do we need troops here? Do we need to send these drones here? Do we need to strike these targets? Right? These guys are trained and they have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and they already been through several operations to know what decisions to make in order for it to be a success, right? And what we found out is they didn't want to hear anybody who had a you know, a different opinion upon, you know, about what moves to take, right? So instead of, you know, listening to the experienced people who are put in place to make those decisions, if you didn't agree with what was going on, they said, okay, we don't need you. We'll find somebody else that's just going to rubber stamp whatever we want to do. So I think a lot of people are also raising eyebrows with that. And it's like, well, hey, if we're not gonna listen to the people with the most experience and the highly qualified people, our intelligence analysts, our counterterrorism analysts, our people who've been in a multitude of different wars, then, you know, that kind of erodes trust, right? So even his long-standing supporters are now taking a step back. You know,
Yeah.
the brother Joe Kemp, right? Somebody who Trump appointed to be the chief of counterterrorism.
Mm.
He was one of the first ones that was like, hey, I gotta resign. I can't support Operation Epic Fury.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it ain't gonna work out the way y'all think it is. And then now more and more people, as you were saying, you know, because the concessions haven't been made, the things that Trump said he was going to do in terms of regime change hasn't been fulfilled. They still control the Strait of Hormuz, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, you know, this is a loss. And we're not
Yeah.
used to just taking L's like that.
Mm. And why you think they have such a misunderstanding of what actually is a fact and what is not? They are so easily to just listen and follow whatever Donald Trump says without ever fact checking him whatsoever, where we could clearly see what is happening and what is not happening. Why does his supporters try to black out the actual facts of what's going on?
Well, because they are indoctrinated sheep,
Oh
to put it
man.
plainly, right? You know, a sheep will never question his shepherd,
Mm.
right? That's one thing we got to understand. When the shepherd waves his staff and say we going left, what do the sheep do, cuz?
Go left.
Even when to the left, it might be a cliff.
Mm.
As long as the shepherd going there, they're going to follow the shepherd, right?
True that. Mm-hmm.
That's why I've been calling for the Black MAGA conservatives to get out. Get out of their own indoctrinated mind and spirit and wake up. And start doing your fact checking. Start raising your antennas and trying to figure out what's really going on so that you can begin to make informed opinions. That's the reason, man.
Oh man, this should be crazy sometimes. Yeah, see, you lucky. You just made it. Look, shout out to Time Wise with the fireball. Drafted. Well, that's a thing. Wow. That is insane to me. Like, hey, listen, we don't care about our young men. And listen, these rim bros and these manosphere men, they got PTSD just from other men communicating. They got PTSD. Imagine what they're gonna have after something like this, as tragic as this. If they're gonna have to put, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, if you notice, Cuzzo, certain, you know, MAGA black conservatives no longer hit your links, right? I ain't seen BMU ever since Operation Epic Fury started. I haven't seen and heard from BMU.
Damn.
Edelman Williams, he don't even talk about politics. He don't even mention it. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, where are the Black MAGA conservatives? You know, that were loud and proud just a few months ago, talking about how, you know, good the economy is and how productive, you know, this new regime is being in terms of foreign policy and domestic policy. We haven't heard from them. We haven't seen them. They're in hiding. They only want to talk about relationships now.
Yeah, they want to talk about Gucci Mane. They want to talk about Gucci Mane being trash.
And Pooh Shiesty and you know what I'm saying? Degenerate things.
Hey, cuz, and then when we was just having casual conversations, what would they say? Oh, we got bigger things going on in the world. Y'all want to talk about hip hop culture now? That's all they want to talk about. Little TJ. They never even talk about Little TJ before.
I don't even know who Lil TJ is, cuzzo. Never heard of him.
Now all of a sudden, you know, we could talk about how trash the culture is because Gucci Man is snitching or something of that nature. It's crazy.
So I need one of the black MAGA conservatives. One of y'all hit the link. I know y'all listening. Where's Otis Who Network? Whenever a political conversation came up, he was sure to hit the panel a few months ago. As long as the Supreme Goddess was missing, right? Because we know when a Supreme Goddess PhD would show up, he has to check out. We understand that. We get it, right? She has this effect on a lot of those brothers. She got those brothers running scared. We get it. But she's not here, right? The link is open. The MAGA black conservatives, y'all need to hit the link and defend or either admit that maybe you were misled, misinformed, maybe you was indoctrinated, maybe you became a sheep, and now you're starting to wake up. See, Shadow, and that's why, you know, he's under that process right now, right? Because he don't really agree with everything that I say, but he's doing his fact checking. That's what I respect about him, right? He's willing to fact check, and he's willing to look at things now from a more objective perspective. He said, you know what? Something is wrong. Something is amiss. And I can't defend what's going on right now. So at least he was man enough to say that. But the brothers that are just running from the conversation, that's not what men do.
Hey, and it is just going to show who is about actual solutions and who is just talking. And it's just interesting to see that how much projection they actually had. And now the same person that is all about politics, all he want to talk about, or all they want to talk about now, is how the black culture is trash, or culture this and pop this, and they want to talk about all these meaningless things. Oh man, it is it. I mean, like yesterday, I believe everybody was having the conversation about a lawsuit. The whole damn internet.
And the reality is, right? You know, I mean, that's a popular conversation in this particular space because people in this space understand who those two people are, right?
Right.
But when you take it off of this space and go to the real world, nobody really knows who Anton Daniels is or Corey Holcomb is, right? So you can't, you know, just have a regular conversation in the real world about what's going on with the lawsuit. They're gonna be like, what? Who?
That's true.
But they know about politics, right? So everybody heard about them, you know, streamlining the draft registration process. So that's a conversation that everybody would be willing to speak on, because especially if you got children, you got sons, you know what I'm saying? You like, hey, what's going on? Everybody know that, you know, they changed the re-enlistment age limit, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To encourage, and who do you think they're trying to encourage to join? That's a different conversation, right?
It's a big difference because they ain't trying to get those rich kids, that's for sure.
Right. And then you got to think about why, what's the reason, what's going on, right? And then you hear about how our current administration is starting to pull away or pull back from their allegiances and alliances with NATO. Right? I think that's very, very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that can cause issues because we got bases, you know, a whole bunch of bases around the world with a lot of our NATO allies. They're there. I've trained in Bosnia with a lot of our NATO allies. So I understand, you know, the need to have, you know, those strategic bases in certain places to maintain dominance and keep people that you want to keep at bay, right? But when you start to, you know, use certain rhetoric and say, well, hey, you know, y'all gonna have to start defending yourselves and we may be going at things alone, and you know, that gives you cause to pause, like, hey, what's really going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't alienate everyone, right? If we in a family, cuzzo, and we got a cousin, right, who says, you know what? I'm cutting Brownsville off. I'm cutting Sharon off. I'm cutting this one off. I'm cutting that one off, right? Now, all of a sudden, he wants to be a lone wolf. Now, when we get together, what are we saying about that person? Be honest about it. Like, man, I don't know what's going on with so-and-so.
Right.
He tripping. Something is off. Something is wrong.
Something is off.
Right. So
Something
that's what
off.
our allies are saying about us. Behind the scenes, that's what they're whispering. Right? So if our allies are having those conversations, what do you think our enemies are talking about?
That's the scary part. That's the scary part. And clearly they are talking because they ain't budging.
Right.
They ain't budging. They don't care. They like, nah, we moving like this. They once was looking at, I think, I got a lot of thoughts. I gotta get them control. I gotta get them under control. Because it's just so much of political position going on. And it seemed like for the next 2 years, it's going to be a lot more positioning and making us look bad according to the world, which is not a good look. The fear that me and you had about Donald Trump not being smart enough in the world's view, he's good for, you know, just controlling the people that felt like they was beaten down. You know, the majority of the people that felt like they was losing their country, yeah, he was smart enough to trick them. However, when we talk about to the world stage, it's a completely different ball game. People have their own propaganda. You ain't gonna have the same propaganda for across these foreign nations the way how it just fell here. And so that's the main concern I had. And now everything is, you know, the chickens is coming home to roost.
And, you know, things are progressively getting worse, right? Which, you know, prior to the election, I said, hey, my biggest concern, right, is our national security, is our foreign policy, right? That was my biggest number one concern, right? Because I felt like that is what gave us the, you know, security to understand where we were in terms of our protection, safety, things of that nature, right? But when you consider, you know, during Operation Epic Fury, the Trump administration had to get in communication with all of the local law enforcement in California, right? And say, hey, there's a potential, there's a possibility of these unmanned drones coming to a city near you and attacking.
That was
your
crazy.
People. So, you know, those kind of things was what I was concerned with. Like, you know, the thought or the idea that somebody as distinguished as General Lloyd Austin, right?
Okay.
Who was the Secretary of Defense, a black man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who did his thing in the military, you know, like nobody else did. Had to accomplish and overcome so many different things and so many different barriers, right? Gained the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and strategic excellence along the way, right? He gets this position. Some people call him a military genius. Trump gets in office and decides to fire this guy. And who did he replace him with?
Who's that?
Surely he's going to replace him with another distinguished 4-star general, right?
Absolutely. Who else?
Right. But that ain't what happened, cuzzo.
Oh, nah.
He got a guy who was pretty much a failure.
Damn.
When you consider seeing the ranks of the senior military, right? He was a guy who couldn't cut the mustard to reach those levels of success that people like General Lloyd Austin had to do, right? He was a major, right? So he didn't even command a brigade. Now listen, you know what I'm saying? In terms of command, right? You got brigade commanders, right? And you know, you got to be a full bird colonel, you know, to command a brigade, right? You got battalion commanders, right?
Okay.
Was Pete Hegseth a battalion commander? Absolutely not. Because you got to be a lieutenant colonel to be a battalion commander. He didn't reach that status, right? So he wasn't a battalion commander. He wasn't a brigade commander, right?
Damn.
He wasn't a division commander.
What?
Not even a division commander, cuzzo.
God damn.
Think about this, right? So this guy with the least amount of command experience ever for the position that he's in right now. He's the guy who replaced the strategic genius in General Lloyd Austin. But yet, they said, well, DEI was a problem. But they're the ones using and abusing it.
Insane.
And not only, you know, because, you know, professionally, right? In terms of his credentials and qualifications for military command, he doesn't cut the mustard, right? Because he's never been in, you know, some of the lowest level command positions, right? Because we understand when you are the Secretary of War or the Secretary of Defense, right? That's like the highest level of military command. The Joint Chiefs of Staff report to you. Think about that. The Joint Chiefs of Staff report to Pete Hegseth, right? Which is why he fired the Army Chief of Staff, General Randy George. Because think about it. How much respect do you think General Randy George, a 4-star general, right? How much respect do you think he would have when his new boss, the highest command level, was a major? Wasn't a battalion commander, wasn't a brigade commander, wasn't a division commander, right? That's something that General Randy George, he had to do. General Randy George was a battalion commander. He was a brigade commander. He was a division commander. He was a CENTCOM commander, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets replaced by somebody who wasn't even a battalion commander. That becomes his boss, right? And then now his boss, who's completely unqualified, is telling him to remove qualified people who look like you and KT. Remove them from access of getting promoted to general status just because of the color of their skin.
It's a
so
sad
General
day.
Randy George said, no, I'm not doing that.
Woo! Stand up, dude.
And then he gets fired.
Shit.
He gets forced to retire, right? Which is what we mean when we say fired, right? Because, you know, somebody like General Randy George can't get fired. I mean, you know, but you can force him to retire, right? And replace him. So yeah, man, it's a lot of alarming things that are taking place in our government, in our military, in these areas of foreign policy, and we have
LA,
to,
the LA Throne say he wants to talk to you. All you gotta do is hit the link. The link is pinned to the top. All you gotta do is go to the horizontal stream and you can hit the link. We are willing to have conversations. So you really actually want to.
Yeah. Hit the link, my brother, because maybe you one of those MAGA black conservatives. That's what I'm hoping, because that's who I want to talk to. I want to talk to the MAGA black conservatives. So hopefully that brother's one of them. Please hit the link.
Why are you smiling? Welcome to the show, KT to go. Why are you smiling? He want to speak to them too.
Nah, I was about to say, well, we know me and Brownsville ain't arguing today. I ain't blagger. Guess we're gonna be on the same field today. I did want to say though too, I think, man, like the Trump move crazy, this whole situation crazy. I know people ain't really been talking about it. What I feel is the craziest is Melania just coming out of thin air like, I ain't got nothing to do with Epstein. Like, I think something's really about to go down in terms of they might actually start doing what we want. You know what I'm saying? Going after some of them Epstein folks, because it seemed like she was getting ahead of the curve, in my opinion.
So do you believe that she was trying to get ahead of her own husband?
Yeah, to a certain extent. Like, I think Trump been denying from the beginning. He just
hold on 1 second. Yeah. I believe LA Throne hit the link. LA, this is my first time seeing you. If you can you please just cam up real quick in the back so I know that you're a real person? Okay, thank you so much. If you can stay cammed up, if you don't mind, that's fine as well. It makes for a better show when we have people cammed up. It doesn't matter, Let me welcome into the show LA Throne. Good day, LA Throne. What is your thoughts? You are on mute, sir. You got to unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. Hey, thank you for having me on, man.
You're welcome. Appreciate you. What's your thoughts?
I got a question for Brownsville. First off, have you served? If so, what was your MOS and what was your rank?
So I served in the United States Army.
Okay.
I was an 89 Delta. By
89 Delta. So what was that MOS?
89 Delta, sir.
And what that job is specifically? I was a 19 kilo. I was an M1 Abrams tank.
Okay, so you was a tanker. So I was EOD. Yeah. EOD. Sir.
Oh, EOD? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I had a sergeant who was who switched from 19 kilo to EOD. I got respect for you. You know, that's a combat MOS, man. Because at first I thought you was a poke or something, man.
Nah, never that. But I do got a question for you, my brother.
All right.
And thank you for your service as well.
You too.
Did you serve in combat?
Unfortunately, I got injured before I was supposed to, man. I tore my right ACL before about 9.5 months before we were supposed to deploy. Doctors wouldn't clear me, unfortunately. But my unit did get to sent to Afghanistan. I was with 3rd Infantry Division, 2nd Brigade, 164 Armor. So I was based out of Fort Stewart in Georgia.
Okay, know it
I was the
well.
3rd to last class to graduate from Fort Knox too.
Okay.
But my main thing is your criticism of Pete Hegseth, I don't think is entirely correct, man. Because dude got a Bronze Star for bravery, man. Kicking in doors as an infantry captain, man. Now,
okay,
you can talk all you want about, him not being, a general or a colonel or a major, or a lieutenant colonel, whatever. But you as a fellow combat MOS, you have to give him some kind of respect for being on the ground, not somewhere in rear deep behind front lines. Giving people the fucking business.
Okay,
so
I'm glad you mentioned that, right? Because he does deserve respect for his valor and his military service for the job that he did as a company commander, right? So I do respect that. But you got to understand the conversation I was having was in regards to the senior military ranks, right? The people who sit in the war room, right?
I mean, I'm sorry, but he got picked as the secretary of defense. And while yes, you can have people who are prior military or current military serve in that rank, you can also have civilians fill that role. Our leadership structure is civilian based. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Our commander in chief is a civilian. So,
right.
So would you say Barack Obama, or would you say, President Clinton? I'm talking about in the past, but or even Biden. Would you think that he's unqualified to command troops, even though he's a civilian, even though he'll be lesser rank because he didn't serve or didn't have attained the rank?
The difference. So, my brother, here's the difference that you're ignoring, right? Who was the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of War before Pete Hegseth?
If I'm not mistaken, Austin.
Right. Now, was the Honorable, that's what I call him, the Honorable Lloyd Austin, was he a battalion commander?
Don't know much about him, to be honest with you, because
okay, you can just say I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know. So the answer is yes. Right? So the answer is yes. Pete Hegseth was never battalion commander, but General Lloyd Austin, the Honorable General Lloyd Austin, was a battalion commander, right?
So let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you something.
All right.
Was the Honorable General Lloyd Austin a brigade commander? Yes or no?
No, I don't. I don't remember. I don't know.
The answer is yes, right?
Okay.
Pete Hegseth was never a brigade commander, right?
Right.
The other question is, was the Honorable General Lloyd Austin a division commander? The answer is yes, right?
Yes.
And
so was he also responsible for Afghanistan?
Here's the thing.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. No, but what you're not understanding, right? I'm talking about qualifications. I'm sorry, about
but if you
credentials. I'm talking about people that we want in that war room, right? Strategizing on how to, get an successful operation underway. We're removing those people from the room and we're replacing them with less qualified people. As a military member, that should alarm you, sir.
No, it doesn't. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the reason why I'm backing Pete Hegseth is because his experience on the fucking ground is more valuable than you being, you know, away from where the action is. You can't make split decisions based on a time lapse. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, but if you look at the track record from the operations that Pete Hegseth has been, associated with this administration versus Lloyd Austin and the previous administration, I think that he's more than qualified because nobody has died on his fucking watch. I can't say that for Austin with 13 dead in Afghanistan.
So let me ask you,
You know what I'm saying?
Watch the F-bombs. Watch the
what rank
F-bombs.
did you retire at?
I didn't retire. I got out when I was a E3.
Oh, see, and that's the issue, right? Because I'm talking about leadership, right? See, I went to PLDC. It was called PLDC before. I went to BNOC. It was called the Basic Non-Commissioned Officers Course, right? So when you've experienced certain levels of military leadership, right, you understand the importance of not having a lower ranked individual making decisions over people with more military rank and experience. But see,
I'm sorry, but I beg to differ because there are people.
E3, you weren't in any type of leadership capacity, right? So you wouldn't understand or be able to connect the dots of what I'm saying, right? General Lloyd Austin, right, is separated by 6 ranks with Pete Hegseth, right?
I'm sorry, but there have been people who have been of lower rank who have demonstrated more leadership than fucking any.
Watch the F-bombs. Watch the F-bombs.
I'm sorry. But like, if you look at John Basilone, right?
Thank you, Rilla.
If you look at John Basilone or Alvin York, you know who I'm talking about. They were capable and demonstrated long before they got ranks above what they started out as of leadership capabilities. You know what I'm saying?
But what
they
does
were competent.
That have to do with what does that have to do with
what I'm talking about is historical context and also the same context of using a lower ranking individual.
But why do we have to go to so far back in history when we can just go to a few years ago when we had an experienced person, a qualified person in the war room making those decisions?
And he let 13 people fucking die, man. I'm sorry, but he let 13 people die.
Hey, at this point, $2 per F-bomb. $2 per F-bomb. $2 to the Cash App per F-bomb.
He let 13 people die unnecessarily.
Who?
Austin. It was under his watch.
What was under his watch?
The Afghanistan withdrawal.
And so you're blaming that on Austin, right?
Yes, because you want to hold Lloyd Austin to this high rank, right? Because he's a brigade commander, because he's a general, right? You want to hold him to that regard, to that standard. If you contrast that with the operations that Hegseth has been charged with, from Maduro to this Iran one,
right? So
nobody has died. Nobody has died. Nobody's died on his watch.
Let's talk about the 13 people who died on Pete Hegseth's watch just recently in Operation Epic Fury. Why haven't you talked about that?
That was from enemy. All right.
Oh no, because you just said nobody died on AXF watch.
See, and that's the thing. See, the problem that I have, right, is you seem to be indoctrinated, my brother, and I don't understand. As a former military member, and maybe, like I said, you got injured, right? So you didn't serve in combat, right? I don't know how long you served in the military, but I was in for 3 years. Right. So you didn't really have enough skin in the game, right? To even understand what I'm talking about in terms of military leadership, right?
Hold on one
Because
second. My GT was enough qualified for a sergeant, man. Had I stayed in, I would have went to the NCO Academy, but I didn't.
right. So what I'm saying is, you can't talk about. Here's the thing, right? What I'm asking for y'all black MAGA conservatives to do, and this is all I'm asking y'all to do, is to start fact checking the information that you're getting from the current administration, right? To have a little bit more situational awareness when it comes to certain statements and certain rhetoric that's being spoken about, right? Because Trump, he said, hey, we've won, right? He's declaring victory, right? And then you got to ask.
Well, let me ask you a question. Then let me ask you a question.
Hold on. Let me land it, and I'll let you ask the question, right? But before the operation began, what did Trump state was the goal of the operation? Do you know that?
Was to free the. Actually, no. Come to think of it, I don't remember that much. No.
Right, and that's because the indoctrination kind of clouds your mind. This is what
it doesn't. No,
this is what his goal was, to dismantle their nuclear program. Do you remember him saying that? Do you remember Trump saying that, my brother?
His nuclear program, the nuclear program was pretty much hit the first time before Epic Fury.
No, I'm asking.
With the first strike, with the bomb, with the B2s.
Do you remember Trump stating that was a goal prior to the start of Operation Epic Fury? He said, "I wanted."
Yes, it was. It was.
Right.
It was a goal. Right.
Right.
And you know what also was a goal for this strategy, man? Which you're probably not getting, is that he's kneecapping China and also Russia at the same goddamn time.
How?
Because he took out, because both economies run off of oil.
LA, you need some help, bro. Tag me in, bro.
No, don't let him. Don't. Hey, Brownville, don't let him off the ropes, Brownville.
No, bro, I'm telling you. Help me.
You asked him a specific question.
You need some help. Don't make that statement. You about to make. Don't make it. I'm telling you, don't make that statement.
Hold on, Ethernet. LA got it. Go ahead, LA.
Hold on. China gets roughly about 90% of their oil from Iran and also Venezuela. He took out Venezuela's leader, Maduro. That's about 30%. And he took out the Ayatollah, which is the remaining half. Now, he's still cleaning up with Iran, but it's gotten Russia to the negotiating table with Ukraine, because they don't have a supplier for a safe way to get their oil out of the Caspian, out of the Black Sea.
I tried to help them.
And see, here's the thing, right?
Yeah, we cooked.
And see, I'm glad Eaterman is aware of this, because in real time, you see a brother who is completely indoctrinated and he's not fact checking what he's being told, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to China, right? Guess what happened when it comes to the oil? Guess whose currency, right, has been transitioned to be propped up when it comes to oil? The Strait of Hormuz was not closed to Chinese vessels. Are you aware of that?
And still, like I said,
no. Just it's a yes.
That's
or
a
no
yes
question.
or no. That's a yes or no.
Are you aware that the Strait of Hormuz was not closed to Chinese vessels?
No, I wasn't aware, but it would make sense because they're both allies with Iran.
Right. So
let me ask you a question.
Right.
So let me ask you a question. We hit Karg Island. We go if we take out Kharg Island, that's 90% of Iran's oil right there and there.
Well,
so China's
LA,
still screwed.
No, LA. No, they're not. They're not screwed.
Yeah, they are.
So
90% of Iran's oil is in Kharg Island. Their capacity.
Let me help you out. Because hold on.
I'm gonna let you, Edelman Williams. I'm gonna let you correct another one of your MAGA conservative brothers, right? I'm gonna let you make this correction with him, and then you got to deal with me because I got some questions for you, Edelman Williams.
Yeah, because you misspoke.
I'm gonna let you correct your brother, LA, but then you got to deal with me. Go ahead.
Yeah, so because I definitely want to talk to Brownsville because he out here and he give y'all 85% of the truth and y'all take the other 15 to be facts. So we go fact check. I'm fact checking you too. So first of all, LA, the biggest problem, it sounds like you're not current on events that's currently happening. So the first thing is they reopen this, right? The part of the negotiation for these 14 days is now they're letting oil out of Iran. And not only they letting oil out of Iran, they also lifting sanctions, quote unquote, for this time of peace. So all the things that you said that they're crippling Russia, crippling China at this current deal that was made, it's not happening, right? So then I think the thing that Brownsville was trying to argue is that Iran took a bigger approach. They said, hey, not only we not using the US dollar anymore, we gonna actually use Chinese, the yen, as our currency for anybody who want to buy oil. So that means that you can't come with US dollars anymore. You got to come at a point where you're using the Chinese yen. That's why he's saying they propped up the US dollar, right? So we do have to agree that those things have changed, LA. But it was a reason
that won't matter. You can prop up. You can prop up with monopoly money, man. You can prop up. You can prop up. The money, the oil with monopoly money, man. If you can't produce it, if you can't get it out, it's worthless. And like I said, all Trump would have to do is just take out Kharg Island in, either with strategic bombing or strategic sabotage, which is easily done because Iran doesn't have much anti-air defense.
Hold on 1 second, Ella. We're gonna move it forward a little bit. I think y'all got y'all points out. Go ahead, Edelman and Brownsville. So while they in the box, all
right. So the first thing is, I know he used to fighting people that's not worthy. Hold on, put me back in the box, Sharon. I want to be in the box with this nigga. Let me start his friend.
God, dog, that's $2, VP.
I know.
That's $2.
I know. I'm good for $2.
Look at me pocket watching.
I'm gonna see if I can send it in yen since he over there, so he can spend it, make it go a little farther. No, so first of all, I was following what he was saying, and then what he said based off his research, right? So yes, they did reopen the oil. That was part of the negotiation. If you go through the 10-step plan, so Brownsville, according to the research I did, and I guess at this point we're just fact checking each other. Right, but according to the research I did, Iran did agree to stop any nuclear, and if they do start any nuclear, quote unquote, program, they must get the approval of America. Do you agree with that, Brownsville, or you disagree with that statement?
I would agree that they agreed to halt enriching uranium to a certain level, right? But in order for me to even concede that, Edelman Williams, you would have to concede that Trump himself stated before Operation Epic Fury started, what was his main objective? His main objective was to totally dismantle Iran's nuclear program. Did
Absolutely.
he say that?
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. Listen, I'm 100% agree with what he said. And this is the art of negotiation. Hey, this is what I want. Hold on, let me respond. No, you say you don't cut people off.
I gotta ask you a yes or no question.
You let LA run his mouth. You ain't gonna let me respond.
I'm gonna ask you a yes or no question, and then I'm gonna let you cook. I'm gonna ask you a direct question, and then I'm gonna let you cook.
Yes, that's what he said. Yes.
This is the question. This is the question, and then you can cook, and I won't even interject. Did President Trump, with this 14-day ceasefire, agreeing to Iran's 10-point plan, did that amount to totally dismantling Iran's nuclear program? Yes or no?
No.
Okay,
Can I
now
respond?
you can go ahead and cook.
All right, so this is what I'm saying. See, this is how negotiation works, right? So the negotiation is, first of all, Iran was clearly making a nuclear plan, because it wouldn't even be on the topping. We wouldn't even be talking about it if it wasn't a nuclear program. So we can get rid of this idea that Iran wasn't doing nothing in the nuclear space, right? And so when this is what Trump said. Trump said something real simple. Give me 2 minutes. I got you. I said, this is what Trump said. Trump said, hey, my goal is to completely get rid of it. I don't want them to have it at all. That's my goal. And Iran says, well, we have it. We're not willing to get to it. So they said, let's come to an agreement, what we call a compromise. And the compromise, which I think is a good strategy of Donald Trump, he said, hey, all right, I can't say that you can't do this forever, but can you please, at least what Brownsville conceded to, can you please at least at this point stop advancing the program? We just need for a certain day for us to have this ceasefire. I don't even know if we really said that word, but we need to have 14 days or however many long days for us to know that you're not moving forward with your nuclear. We're going to come back to the negotiation table. And after we come back to the negotiation table, we're going to strategize a way that we can move forward. That is actually moving forward from them doing whatever they want and actually being into a space that they're willing to at least limit what they're doing. I'm not saying that we got to the final result of what Donald Trump said that his goal was, but it does look like we're moving in the right direction.
Hey, this man literally, Donald Trump said he can go in the middle of Times Square and pop somebody and we'll lose damn supporter. Hey, Eat a Man, didn't the president say in his first term that we had annihilated Iran's nuclear program, that they were completely dismantled of that program? You want to fact check that wasn't said during his administration? And now we're here again talking about Iran's nuclear program, and that's not even part of the 10-point negotiation.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah,
just that first statement. I'm sorry, I had a customer come up.
No, you good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Say just the first part.
Yes, sir. Did the current president, during his first term as president, didn't he inform the American people that Iran's program had been completely annihilated?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So now your point of contention is you're saying that he's now saying they started it again?
Absolutely. So this is from my perspective and my research, right? We understand that he put things in place that completely bankrupt this company. And then what happened after he left office, the next office for 4 years gave them money and funded them to restart. So this idea that he had a 4-year gap, I know Chicago want to act like the 4-year gap didn't exist. He had a 4-year gap in America. Hold on, let me land it. I've been letting y'all land. And listen, America literally had America literally funded them restarting this whole program, putting billions, if not trillions of dollars into this country. And you ask the question is, did they restart again? Absolutely, they started it in the 4-year gap that the Democrats ran to America.
Man, this is crazy, G. Y'all be gangbanging too tough for me, man. Y'all be gangbanging. I know there was an interim president. That's why I specifically pointed to the current president's first term. So I'm not trying to act like, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Doubt it. But, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? But the idea that this man is saying now, oh my gosh, Iran has because even when, okay, let me ask you this, man. What was the purpose of launching this series of attacks on Iran to begin with?
I think it was a combination of multiple things. I know we wanted to be simple.
What's the stated? What is the stated?
It was the Iran. I think the first attack would have been the nuclear underground site. Was the first official attack that we see. Where we seen the guys go at midnight. They flew for however many hours, and he told this story to us. Right. I think the first thing he said that they had a nuclear program, and he believed that that nuclear program was in danger to our
So
allies. Right. But
so
I do. Hello. I want to say this. I think
yeah,
it's
go ahead.
really important
And
to
my
say
bad,
that it.
Brownsville.
No, it is multiple things that's inside. It also says that we have allegiance to Israel too. So I'm just saying this is not a one. I want to be clear.
No. Pause right there. Because you're adding sauce to it. I asked, what is the stated purpose? What was told to the American people? Because it's supposed to be America first, right? MAGA is supposed to be make America great again, right? Not make all these other countries great again, right? And so what the stated purpose was is we're supporting our ally, Israel. And they was going to bomb first. So we aided and assisted them. It had nothing to do with no nuclear program. What are you talking about?
It definitely had. Listen, I'm just
that's not the stated purpose, though. You can't do that.
No, listen. So hold on. I'll just say,
just point me in the direction where you got your information from. I can fact check that now.
I just want to make sure that I want to make sure I hear you right.
You in spy mode.
Listen, yeah, you gotta make sure don't let her get him. Use your Bruce Lee skills. I know you watched it growing up. You gotta get out of there. Yes. So the point that I was saying, the whole point that I'm saying is the first official attack was this is based on what reports say. Even if you get access to the military reports, the military report says that we had intel that they had an underground nuclear plant. Now, we can argue if that was true or false, but the reason that we bombed that area because we felt that they was advancing their nuclear thing. And now we fast forward to the conversation negotiation. Iran, out of their own mouth, have acknowledged that they was advancing it and they're willing to stop.
You skipping stuff, E. That's what I'm saying. And I'm only going by, look, just as a tech. Look, I don't have the expertise that you and Browns have. I didn't serve in the military. None of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking as a tax-paying, neutron, civilian citizen. And I'm going by the reports of what I'm seeing come out of the White House. What's the Levitt? Is that her name? Carolyn? Right?
Yeah, I got you.
When the White House press secretary gets grilled, I'm going based on what's coming out of her mouth. Man, can I take what our president posts on Truth Social? Can I take that at face value?
Ooh.
Can I take that into account?
Everybody said no. Brownsville been telling us to do our research the whole time. That's
no. I'm asking.
He killed AA. I'm just saying based on where the standard is, because Brownsville.
No, if you say no, you say no. It's just a yes or no. So
no, I just said no. You want me to say it again? No, we got to do our research based on what Brownsville said.
Okay.
He said he want us to walk them out to the left, walk them out to the right. He want us to do our push-ups and get that remnants out of our system. And then after we do that, we need to do proper research. So this is what I want to prove. Y'all Democrats on the other side ain't doing no research either. Y'all taking stuff right out of their mouth. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I don't know who's a Democrat up here. I'm not a Democrat.
Yeah.
I want to be clear on that.
I don't even think KT a Democrat.
Yeah, but the idea.
So just to add clarity, Chicago Rilla, let's go over Trump's key objectives that he communicated prior to Operation Epic Fury after Operation Epic Fury initiated. This is what Trump said. He said, I wanted to totally obliterate Iran's missile infrastructure.
Did he do that? Huh?
I'll give him that. 80.
Okay, I was about to say a military man does not lie. Oh, go ahead, keep going. I'm sorry. I was about to say you brought it up. Go ahead.
Is it me?
You good? Go ahead. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah.
Did I freeze or you froze?
No, you good, Brownsville. Man was jaw jacking. That's all.
Okay, so even I'll give you that. Let's say he totally dismantled their missile infrastructure, right? He also said that he also said that he wanted, because we know that the missile infrastructure hasn't been depleted because they still have the capacity to fire missiles.
Right.
Is that right or wrong, Edelman Williams? Does Iran still have the capacity to fire missiles? Yes or no?
Do they have the capacity to? Yes, I think they bought some from the open market.
So they still have the capacity to fire missiles.
Well,
right?
no, hold on, because let's be clear. They still have the right to buy missiles from other countries. They actually pulled a report said that China actually sold them missiles after they took out the first wave of infrastructure. So I'm not saying that.
So would you say, okay? So even with that information, would you say that their missile infrastructure has been totally dismantled? Yes or no?
I believe yes. I think when the first initial attack, it got completely dismantled. But as any other country, you can go to the market, especially when you got oil, you can leverage buy more missiles in the systems. Okay, without a doubt.
So another objective. So I'm not even going to argue with that point because that's trivial, right? Here's another objective that Trump said for Operation Epic Fury. He said, I want a total regime change, and I want the Iranians to be able to pick their next supreme leader.
Yep. I think that we haven't got far enough into it yet. Literally, we talking about
no, it's a yes or no. Was that objective?
No, I'm answering your question. No, is no way that could have happened in 30 days. But we do know that the administration that was in place was completely taken out. So now, them going through a voting system, do we really expect them to be able to vote on a new regime in 30 days?
Is it the sun at the helm now?
According to all reports, to Chicago Realist point, according to all the reports, Iran's leadership still remains largely intact as it was prior to Operation Epic Fury. And Edelman, you can fact check that.
No, so at that point that you're saying, what I am saying is if we understand how a voting system works in America, right? I just want to be clear. Is it fair to believe that Donald Trump had to figure all of this out in 30 days, Brownsville?
Yes.
That is crazy. The reason
why it's fair is because that was an objective, right? The objective that I'm talking about Trump in his own words, right? When you give an objective, right, a reasonable person will believe that you want to see that objective be successful. Am I right or wrong about that, Cuzzo?
100% correct.
Right. So that's another objective.
Guys.
Now, Edelman Williams, here's another objective. Right now, this is from Trump. This is from Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Am I breaking up, Cuzzo?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. And Edelman, he stepped away for a quick second.
Okay. So he. And here's the thing, man. I need a black MAGA conservative to not step away, but to step up. Right? And listen, I'll give Edelman Williams this, right? At least he hit the link and he attempted to mount a defense, right? Even though he's being unsuccessful. But I don't need him to step away. I need him to step up, right? Because we still got to go through it. Because I want him to wake up. That's the goal. For him to wake up and to get out of this indoctrination, get out of being a sheep, right? Because guess what? You're being led to the slaughter.
Damn. Let me read these super chats while we get it together. Shadow, the timeout. Jonathan, well, that's the thing. Shadow timeout, $2. Millennials. Kareem Mackey, I got $1 for the tea. Thank you so much. And we know what the price of tea over here is now. Edelman versus Brownsville on MAGA. Been waiting. For Sherrod Powell.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Shout out to Time Watch 5 for the man N-words. God damn it. Shout out to Ashley, Virgo's Flame, 21 with the 2 dots. LA, shake my head. Are you okay? Do you need to re-enlist? And we also got Kim West. Trump is going to cause the fall of the American empire. Never thought I would see it in my lifetime. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate y'all.
So you back,
Sharon, hold on,
man?
hold on. Yeah, I'm back. So Sharon, first of all, this is funny how disingenuous that Brownsville is being. And the reason I'm saying he's being disingenuous, he served in the military and he understands military operations. Typically, what happens inside of a military operation, what happens is we completely put in the places for things to fall in place in the future. If you look at all the operations we did in the past, nothing happened overnight. And for him to be able to serve and know this and say that he had these quote unquote expectations that in 30 days we was going to completely be able to do these things and not understand it's supposed to be the initiation is disingenuous, Sharon, and he know it.
So let me respond to
Wait,
that.
didn't they just take Maduro out?
I'm gonna ask you a question.
And before you ask the question, we got 120 watching. Can y'all please hit the like button? We barely got 30 likes. Go ahead, Brownsville.
So Edelman Williams, right?
You're low. You're real low.
Yeah, you muffled.
I'm muffled.
Yeah, you muffled.
All right, let me get to a
there
better
you go.
position.
There you go.
I'm back.
No, that's better. That's better. Yeah.
Okay, so Edelman Williams, right?
Damn.
You yourself served in the military, correct?
Yes, sir. What's the 31? This one. Yes, sir.
And you went on different missions while you were in the military, correct?
I don't talk about my military. I don't know why we keep going through this. I don't talk about what I did in the
I'm
military.
I'm not asking you to be specific.
I don't listen.
I'm saying, have you ever conducted any mission while you were in the military? Yes or no?
Yes, but I don't talk about. I'm gonna say it again.
Right.
Don't ask me no more questions about my military career because I don't talk about it online, and there's a reason for that.
Right. And when we go on missions, there are what's called mission objectives. Is that a correct statement? Yes or no?
Sure. Yes.
Right. And if those mission objectives are not met, is the mission considered a success or a failure?
Failure.
Right. So
that's the being honest. Now let me respond. The reason you're being honest because a campaign and a mission are not the same. In Brownsville, know this. That's what I'm saying. When you start understanding Afghanistan freedom, it was 1,000 missions in that. And the whole point of when you start understanding the whole campaign is not dictated by one mission. And you know that, Brownsville. That's what I'm saying is I think you try. Cool if you want a got you moment, but you know that you're not coming from being genuine. Based off that statement you just said.
No, but what I'm trying to get you to understand is it's not Brownsville. This is Trump. So Trump listed his objectives, right? That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. He had objectives for Operation Epic Fury that he articulated. He communicated it to the world, right? You have access to his objectives, right? And you said so far we know 2 of his objectives were failures, right?
So let me ask this question: is Epic Fury over in your opinion? Based on your military opinion. No, hello, don't well me. Give me a yes or no, because I've been asking all yes or no. Is it over?
No.
So isn't it unfair? I just want you to understand what Brownsville is saying. I want to hold you to a standard of completion in an open, quote unquote, mission. That is crazy. From a military person to say that is absolutely crazy.
But that's disingenuous because right now we're in the midst of a ceasefire, right?
But it's not over.
So during that ceasefire, right, there is a pause in the operation. So the operation is not ongoing as of today. right? So what I'm saying is, since the operation is no longer ongoing as of today, it is fair to see what objectives were accomplished, especially Edelman, especially when we have already suffered loss of life when it comes to our military service members, especially when almost 400 of our distinguished military service members have been injured or wounded in the line of duty, right? So what we're doing is we are assessing whether or not these objectives were met, right?
Okay,
Now,
hold on. Well, let
Trump.
me respond to that because
Now,
we need an intermission anyways, right? So I'm gonna ask Sharon because I want to make a statement, but I want to ask Sharon a question before I make my statement. Sharon, if you're running a show and you have a goal to make $500 this show, because we're gonna make $500 this show, right? If you got a goal that you're gonna get 500 halfway through your show, is it fair for me to assess to say, hey man, you ain't make your 500 goal halfway through the show? Do you think that's a fair assessment, Sharon?
No, not off that blanket statement.
Not off that blanket statement. And see, the problem is they only have sent about $10 to $15. And we need to support Sharon. Sharon need to make sure that he can get his flight home. I ain't gonna tell y'all. I know that Sharon need a flight home. And the problem that the reason that he might be stuck over there in China is because you won't send a super chat. You won't send an Apple Pay. You won't send a Zelle. You won't send a Cash App. Guess what? His Cash App still work over there. They still taking the funds. So what I need y'all guys to do, it's 100 plus people watching. Everybody send $2. $2, it won't get them a plane ticket, but at least get them some snacks on the plane. So let's go ahead and make sure that we completely support my guy, because he is saying even over there in China, in a situation where he's away from his family, he's serving you guys this Saturday and giving y'all his attention. He deserved $2. Now go ahead, Brownsville.
Yeah, so I'm not going to let you deflect and run away from the conversation, right? We're talking about what the current president-in-chief communicated his objectives that he would ensured us. He promised us that these objectives would be met. And he said very, very quickly, right? So already we went through 2, and you said they haven't been met, right? So let's go to
the first one have been met. So hold on. Let's be clear. You conceded that the first one was met. Do you agree with that or disagree with that? You conceded that.
I conceded that because it was a trivial argument. I did. The point is, you
did you concede or you did not concede?
Well, yeah. So I gave you
okay.
That. So let's say one, for argument's sake, yes. One he's met. Even though we know it ain't true, we'll give him that, right? We'll say that he has totally dismantled Iran's missile infrastructure, even though we know it ain't true, right? So we'll give him that, right? But in regards to the second objective that we went over, we understand that it's a failure so far, right? Iran's leadership infrastructure is still largely intact, and there's no remnants or no evidence that their leadership infrastructure will change anytime soon, right? So we know that objective hasn't been met yet, right? His other objective, let's go to another objective.
I don't know, but we can't move past that point, right? So this is what we're doing. Let's say this is the first quarter. Can you agree that we're in the first quarter of this campaign?
No.
How far do you think we're in this campaign, in your opinion?
I think we're close to the end.
Oh, so you think we at fourth quarter?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's say it's the fourth quarter. Let me concede to it's the fourth quarter, right? In the fourth quarter, we understand that if you look at any sports, games are won in the fourth quarter, right? So we understand that a team can be down in the fourth quarter, and when we look at it, we'll say, hey, you know what? You know what I'm saying? They're losing by this amount of points. Effective leaders, what they do is they assess. I have no problem with assessing where we're at but you're trying to hold him to the standard of completion in the game. That's the
No,
point. That yes, you are
no,
literally.
I'm holding him to his own objective. I'm just making an assessment. I'm just saying, okay, while we're in this momentary pause, let's see how many of his objectives are close to being complete or have already been completed. Right? I think that's fair. That's what objective people do, right? They
Based on
look and
his
say,
timeline.
hey, Sharon, his goal was 500, but we see he's got 300 right now, right? So it's 200 more to go, right?
Support the
That's
chairman.
fair. And that's all we're doing. And I don't understand why you're trying to run from it. I do understand.
I'm not running though. See that now you just doing ad hominems because I'm not running. I'm here. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I am not running to your point.
So
I am
let's go
responding
to
directly.
let's
Hold
go
on,
to
no, let me
another
respond to that because you make these statements that are not true. I'm not running. I am sitting here and I'm responding in real time for what you're saying. And the point that I'm telling you is your perspective is, hey, check this out. We're in the fourth quarter. He haven't completely do those things. And I concede to say, I don't think that he have accomplished these things in fully, but he still got time. Now, at the end of it, let me ask this question. At the end of it, and since you've been in the military, if it's not 100% all missions are successful, quote unquote, because you use the word mission, would we still say that we lost that war?
No.
Okay.
It's 90%. So let me be clear, right? Let's say we have 10 objectives, 10 mission objectives, right? And 9 of them are successful. Then we would not call that a failure.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So let's go to the next objective, right? The next objective I want to talk about, he said he was going to totally dismantle Iran's nuclear program.
Okay.
Is that mission objective successful as of today?
No.
Williams. Yes or no?
I think this man, I think he stopped it. I don't think he's dismantled it, to answer your question.
So the answer is no, correct?
Cool, no.
Correct.
Currently,
right.
No.
Right. So we're 2 to the negative and 1 to the positive that I gave you, right? Now let's go to the next one, right? Another objective, and this is all verifiable fact checking you can do. Trump said himself that he wanted to totally dismantle their Navy so that we can control the Strait of Hormuz.
Okay.
Okay, so are we in control of the Strait of Hormuz?
No.
So is there
why no? Hold on. Why
totally
no? See,
dismantled?
because you gotta give context. Why not, in your opinion?
Because we haven't totally dismantled their Navy.
Yes, we have. The reason their land forces and missiles is the reason why we can't get American ships through there. They have nothing to do with the Navy.
In their Navy, Edelman Williams. In their Navy.
No, so that when you talk about, because you're talking about land, right? I want to be clear. And the question he's asking,
we're talking about a strait.
A narrow strip that we can't get in is because of land forces. It have nothing to do with their Navy.
It has to do with the land forces, their Navy, and their missile infrastructure, and their drone technology. All 4 of those things. You can verify it and look it up.
I'm saying, so the Navy ships that they have in submarine, are you saying that we did not take those out from your opinion?
Not to the degree that we can control the Strait of Hormuz like he said that we would.
Well, the Strait of, so first of all, that was part of the negotiation. You agree that the Strait of Hormuz being able to get oil, the reason we seen to get oil out of that to some of these allied companies in America was coming through that. That was part of the negotiations. You agree with that, right?
That was a concession by Trump, because I'm talking about, so you're talking about 2 different things. I'm talking about, hold on, Edelman. What I'm talking about is when Operation Epic Fury first started, Trump said one of his objectives was to totally dismantle their Navy and take control over the Strait of Hormuz. That's what he said. He didn't say that they would control it. He said he would control it.
So the Navy, I'm trying to understand your point. So first of all, I do believe that we dismantled their Navy. The second thing is the only way for us to take over this land is if we was to go troops on ground. We're gonna have to be able to stop things happening on the ground through this location. And based on what the American people is saying, American people, including Brownsville, is saying that they don't believe that they want that to happen. Do you agree with that, Brownsville?
I agree. Yes.
So
but I'm not talking about me. So you're making it about me.
Well, American people. That's why I said the American people.
I'm talking about what Trump said. See,
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
That's another deflection.
Hold on. It's not a deflection because I purposely let's remove Brownsville. Hold on. Let's remove Brownsville because it's not about Brownsville, right?
Right.
It's about the American people. When we was at the stage to take over this place, he got a backlash from the American people that they did not want to go troops on ground. Do you agree?
Yes, that's true. Yes.
So what I'm saying is, as you know, from military personnel, you assess the mission as you actually are conducting the mission. And the point that I'm trying to yes, you do. Absolutely, you do.
They strategize and they come up with mission objectives, right? And they come up with a detail-oriented plan to have a successful mission or conduct a successful operation. That's what the war chiefs do, and all of the commanders, they get together and they have those briefings in order to communicate the objectives and see the objectives to success. That's what happens. But what I'm telling you, Trump, this is what Trump communicated to us.
I know, and so the point
that's what I'm talking about. I'm not.
But you agree. You agree that this slit of land cannot be taken unless we invade. Correct? This area, based on basic military principles, we cannot take over this. What you're talking about, unless I just want to make sure we invade. Do you agree or disagree?
Yes, I agree.
So that's the point that I'm saying, is that when you say, hey, we haven't met this objective, because I do believe it was a big pushback, not only from the American people, also from the American soldiers, that says that we don't want to invade. And so we still remember this still is not over.
So let me ask you this question. So you're saying that Trump initially said that was a goal, that was an objective, and then he came back and conceded that no, I don't want to do that anymore. Is that your argument?
No, I'm saying, remember, we're halfway into the thing. We don't even know.
Is that your argument?
No, and I said I'm asking you. I don't know why. Listen, I don't know if you can hear me. I said no before I started talking. No.
Right. So why are we having this argument then? Because I'm talking about Trump and what he said. Not what the American people said. What the military said. I'm talking about what the commander-in-chief listed as his objectives.
For the end of this, yes, for the end of this campaign. That's the point that I'm trying to help you understand. You keep saying, oh, check this out. It's required for us to be able to accomplish this objective. We need to invade. We know this as military personnel. And you say, okay, we haven't invaded yet. Which I don't know if I believe we are. I think it's going to be a point that is boots on grounds, regardless of people like it or not, right? But we haven't did this part of the objective, but let's hold him accountable if it have been successful. We have to wait to the end of the campaign.
No, the reason why we don't have to wait until whatever end campaign, whatever you think the end of the campaign is, the reason why we can assess it now is because Trump himself is in negotiation talks with them about a resolution, right? And right now we're in a 14-day ceasefire to allow those negotiations to take place. And we figured out that there was a 10-point plan of demands that Iran had in order to even enter this negotiation phase. Do you agree with that?
How long are you gonna be here? You're leaving 10%?
No, I'll be here till 11.
Okay.
All right, so no, so to respond to what you're saying, I'll be back. I'll be here till 11. Okay.
Okay.
Have a good day. All right. So the respond to what you're saying. So first of all, you saying is that you want us to evaluate where he's currently at in this mission, correct?
Correct.
And I am saying, if we looking at this as the third quarter, the fourth quarter, I'm saying that all of the objectives have not been completed yet, right? And remember, we don't understand this plan because we don't have access to it, right? For example, if this was the Super Bowl, the trick plays come in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things happen at the end. And I'm conceding to that you said that it was the fourth quarter. So what I'm saying is at this current point, we see that he have successfully did some things. And I don't think that he have to do all 10 of these things to be successful in this mission.
We're evaluating what he said and what was actually accomplished with what he said. That's what we're assessing.
Yeah,
right?
but that's what I'm saying is that if I just think that it's an unfair reality if Sharon came up here and said we gonna talk about these 10 things, and then we halfway through the show you say, well, we haven't got the 6 of them or 7 of them. It is just unfair for us to try to evaluate a whole campaign on a temporary time in it.
Oh, that's bad business. That's not even business leadership.
And not only is it bad,
that was wild.
Gorilla,
I think you took it too far that time.
Right? Because
here's the
thing.
He done jumped over the cliff.
Man Williams is a businessman.
Correct.
Right? So let's put it in
a wild statement.
Perspective for a second.
You jumped over the cliff with that one.
So even if you're in business, right? And let's say you're trying to enter into a partnership with Chicago Gorilla, but before that, right, you was trying to totally take over his business, right? So you were trying to conduct a hostile takeover, right? And you know, so you said, hey, I want to buy this amount of stock in his business, right? Then I want to be able to have this many people on the board to vote for me so that I can take over his company. You had these objectives, right? And then let's say, right, now you're in talks with Chicago Gorilla, right, to basically agree to let him keep his company, right? And you're not gonna get anything. You're just gonna let him keep his company the way it was prior to your hostile takeover, right?
That's the disingenuous. They have completely changed. You keep saying, "Oh, it's the exact same."
Okay, so tell us what has changed.
All right,
what has changed from before? Now listen,
I'm about to answer. I already know your questions. I do know you're gonna say what changed from before to now.
What I'm about to say. I'm talking about before Operation Epic Fury.
And now, okay, I knew what you was gonna ask. All right, cool. I've been talking to you long enough. The point that what have changed? Iran had fully autonomy over their nuclear system. They could do whatever they want. They didn't have no checks and balance system. And what have changed is they agreed to not do that and actually put it off to later negotiation. That is a big change. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
That is crazy.
That's crazy, E.
That is crazy that you think that. Hold on, let me ask Sharon, because Sharon, he don't tell no lie. He said he got to tell the truth. And I want to make sure we hold him accountable even in China. Is that a change or is that not a change in your opinion, Sharon?
Ask the whole question.
All right, let me play it back because he got to find a way to wiggle out of it, right? All right, so the question I'm asking you is if Iran had fully autonomy to do their nuclear system however they wanted to, and they have agreed to stop doing it and before they start back doing it, come to the table and negotiate with America on their nuclear system. Is that a change or is that the same in your opinion, Sharon?
To be honest, the way how you asked the question, it sounds like it's a little bit of both. So, but to be technical, it's a change.
Okay, I thank you. I just wanted to make sure we're holding you to that true standard.
But see, to
Yeah,
give
that's
clarification, Cuzzo, this is what happened, right? So we imposed sanctions on Iran because of their nuclear program, right?
Right.
And we froze assets, right? So we had some things in place to slow them down when it comes to enriching uranium, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happened with this 10-point plan agreement, what Trump has agreed to do is to lift the sanctions, right? And unfreeze the assets. And the only thing that he got from Iran is, well, yeah, when we want to enrich uranium, we'll tell you.
Right. That's crazy.
Go ahead, Black.
When you put that whole thing in perspective, that's crazy.
So
well, no, but
how
no,
do you feel about
that's
that?
BS.
What do you think about that, Sharon?
No, because it's BS. Hello, the reason it's BS. The reason it's BS is the only reason, quote unquote, that we had sanctions on them is because they was advancing their nuclear system. And and then if you look at, because also in these agreements, they're gonna have the ability to inspect certain things in Iran in the future. So the point go ahead.
It sounded like the only thing that they got was that Iran's gonna say, "Hey, we're gonna let you know we got some uranium."
No, because he didn't tell everything we got. Another thing that happened is our Iran also started giving American and our allies back oil too. This is part of the negotiation nobody talks about. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of them opening up this. It wasn't for nobody else. It was actually for our allies in America to get oil
what
outside
ships
of
have
this.
gotten through there, Edelman?
Right, yeah.
Through the Strait of Hormuz. Which ships have gotten through there? Because the report I saw is that
Pakistan, China,
right.
all Eastern countries. Ain't nobody on the West getting nothing. Europe ain't collect nothing yet.
That's the report I'm seeing.
And Edelman, I thought you already agreed that they didn't open it up for us on our side, so I thought those was already.
No, it is open. No, you misheard, because the point of them opening it up wasn't just for quote unquote the Eastern countries. It's also for our allies in that area too. Absolutely.
No, well, Edelman, let me ask you this: in this time since the campaign has launched, were there any ships going through the Strait of Hormuz, or were they all stopped?
You said, was there any ships?
Were any ships able to travel through the Strait of Hormuz since the beginning of this campaign?
I didn't do that research, so I don't know.
The report I saw yes, and it was extremely limited, and they were not Western friendly.
Nope.
Right, it was allies of Iran, right, that was able to travel through the Strait of Hormuz, and to my knowledge, they still have not opened it up to Western countries, i.e., specifically America.
Right.
Well, no, hello. So, like I said, I have to take 2 million per ship. That's what they asked for.
No,
I have to take your word for it. Like, I don't know.
No, don't, because I could be mistaken.
I'm just saying, because hold on 1 second. Give me a second. Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, I think that's crazy, and you have to backtrack it. But so far it's still 3. So we got through 4 points, and we gave you one of them because of a technicality. But 3 out of 1 is not a good look so far.
Hey, Sharon, let me say this before Black jump in, before Edelman come back and derail the show, and then I gotta dip in here and earn my keep. I get assessed quarterly, right? There are certain KPIs and metrics I have to hit in order to earn my bonus, right? So let's say it's a 10-point plan, 10-point KPIs that I have to hit. Hey, fam, if I hit, let's say the goal that I have to hit 8 of 10 to bonus out, fam, if I hit 8.7, I missed out on that 0.3 percentage point. You don't bonus out. You just don't. And you assess people. And I think what Brownsville, and he's right, he didn't add anything. He didn't put sauce on it. He's going on what the man said out of either True Social, which we said we can't use, or what his press secretary has said at the podium. These are things that he's quoted as saying in terms of, hold on, Edelman, and I'm going to listen from the clouds. This is what he said he was going to accomplish in this amount of time. And I think it's fair to assess based on the standard that he set. Again, from a business perspective, right? If I don't hit my KPI, the standard is that. Well, let's say my annual review, right? There are
Yeah.
key points. There are 10 points that I have to do, right? If I hit 4 of the 10, 5 of the 10, I'm middle of the road. Like I don't get a cookie or a standing
What?
ovation because I hit 5 of the 10. The goal was to hit
No, but
7 of the 10 or 8 of the 10. Go ahead,
hold
E.
on. So let me ask
Because
you a
you're gonna
question. I
stand
want
by
to
that,
ask you
man.
before you leave. I want to ask you a question. Hold on, because
Okay.
no, because the problem with Chicago, he's looking at America as an employee and not as a company, right? Those are what he
I'm
just
looking
listed.
as an
Hold on.
employee.
Let me finish. I let you
Let him make
get
that
yours
make
out.
sense. That's
So
it.
That's crazy
hold on.
work.
Let me finish. Oh man, this is crazy.
Don't get
That
frustrated. Just go ahead.
so the point, it's not frustrating. It's just like y'all say, hold the
Well,
standard
you
and let
yelling and
people
screaming. Yeah,
finish.
go
And
ahead.
then when I live to the standard, y'all do exactly what y'all accuse me of doing. That's the point
Either
that I'm
man,
saying.
make the point, brother.
So
You don't
the
have to
Focus,
do
point
all
that
man.
I'm
that.
Get
saying
to the
is
point.
Right.
he's looking at this as a employee. Talk about you don't get your bonus if you don't make over the percentage that you're supposed to, which is horrible. We got to look at this from a company point of view. How
Oh,
the
what's the company
company
point of view?
point of view, I'm about to explain to you. If
Yeah.
our goal is to raise to 150%, and
Uh-huh.
we land at 125% as a company, it was successful based on last year.
That's
I don't know
crazy
why.
work.
I
Oh,
don't know why y'all think that company
you're
was
That's
moving
not
the
crazy
needle.
that he's
successful.
even saying that.
Hold
Now
on,
you
but
took a
hold on.
shot.
So either
He
man,
took a
so
The
shot at
objective is
me
150,
to
but you
say the
hit
same.
125. You
Right.
failed.
He's saying. Wait. Hold on. Just around real
hold on.
quick, and then I'm gonna dip. Go ahead.
Yeah,
My bad, brother.
yeah, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
You in
yeah,
spy
bro.
mode. I don't want you to get acupuncture out there, man. Go ahead.
Really, you good? You good?
No. The crazy thing is, if you have a business mindset, either man, you literally just said what I said. You took a swipe at me to try and make it seem like I'm some underling employee.
No, I did not.
Yes, you
I said
did.
something totally
You
different. You
said
said that
no.
you're
You
unsuccessful,
said
and
no,
I
sir.
said that you
No,
are
sir.
successful.
No, sir. No, sir. You didn't listen to what I said. You literally just made the same point. I would agree with you. 125% of 150 target. Right. You're correct. 125 to 150. Correct. But if it's a failing grade, my brother, it's a failing grade. Listen, that don't even have to be an employee, my guy. You could go to a school level, a student level, and the same thing. That's just crazy that you would
But
bring
no,
that up to say
that's
he's
not how
looking at it from an employee.
that's not how war work
When
though. That's not how
now you
like
finna switch
the
it. Now
metrics
you
that
finna
you
say America is a war machine and not a corporation. Is that what you about to tell me now?
no, I'm not. I'm saying that's not how war work. See, war
Now this
it have
goalpost
nothing to
moving.
hold on.
I'm going.
Listen.
I'm gonna be in the clouds, eating man. Go ahead and cook,
Now
my
he don't
brother.
want to talk. Now he want to
No,
go to
no, no.
work.
I
Now
actually got to
who's the
go in here
runner?
and
Sharon,
no, I got to
listen,
go in
I
here and
got
act like an
Hold
accused.
on,
employee.
Go
y'all.
ahead. I'll just mess with
Hold
you.
on.
I
So
I
just
look,
want
know.
to
yeah,
show
I
you
know.
yeah.
that.
Shout out
Well, I
to
think
E.
so. Well, I think you're wrong with your assessments. That like so already we are 3 down. So already is less than 70%. So I think that's where the issue is lying. Like if it keeps track. If we was running a company and we had our business tracking in this order of is not meeting any of the criteria, we keep missing and missing and missing, we would start to re-strategize so we could get the company back in a proper position. That's I think where Donald Trump's at.
Go ahead.
We'll let either man rebuttal and then we're gonna get Black in there. Go ahead.
Yeah, yes. And I'm looking at this. I don't think my company, we have never hit our target goals ever. Listen, because I was taught to shoot for the stars, and if you land on the moon, that's cool, right? So that's the perspective that I'm coming from. So just because I say, hey, I remember one meeting I went there, we go increase our sales 500%. And I think that over that year, we increased it 232%. We were a successful company, but we didn't hit our goal. So that's what I'm saying. When it comes down, what is the ultimate goal of this campaign? Because these little measuring tools is different, and we don't know if we're going to hit that ultimate goal until the end of the campaign. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Let me welcome into the show Black and Shadow the Time Watch. We can go after Black. Go ahead, Black.
What up, everybody? So the issue I'm having with all of with the entirety of the war is that we had no clear objective going into the war. So there was never like, okay, the goal is to, according to Trump, his initial statements was regime change. You accomplished that because on day one of the war, you murdered the Ayatollah. Gone. His son is now put in place, and you killed a whole lot of generals and other people in the mix. So you did accomplish, quote unquote, some portion of regime change, but it's not changing the optics on the ground. It's still technically a stalemate. We can't go in, and they not coming out.
Well, but Black. So let me respond to that. That's where we disagree, because his father said, "I will not negotiate with America." Point blank. Period. He said,
They're
"I'm
not
not willing
negotiating
to."
with America.
Hold on. No, listen. He said, "I'm not even willing to have the conversation." Father get deleted. Son said, "Okay, I'll sit at the table." Now, see, if some of y'all look at that and say, "Oh, it's the same thing." No, if one person's not willing to talk to me, and one person at least come into the table and say, "Let's now do a negotiation," is a change. And what I'm telling y'all is, I get y'all wanted to happen overnight, but this is how it works. Let me get you to concede. Let me just keep letting you
Either
move.
man.
Oh, go ahead.
Either man.
Hey, hold on,
Did
Scrap.
he say it was going to happen overnight?
Huh?
Did Donald Trump, say it was going to happen overnight?
Did he say that it's going to happen overnight?
Yeah.
I don't think he said overnight, but I think he said a short period of time.
He said this. He said we're going to do this so quick and fast. You know, this is going to be done in a week.
Yeah,
I think he was projecting his cell goals.
And then for clarity,
That's still hyperbole.
for clarity,
You low,
Wow.
Brownsville.
said,
Brownsville.
said
You low.
total
I'm
Brownsville,
trying to help you.
I got you. I got you.
to
Brownsville,
liberate.
you muffled again, Brownsville. Yeah, try now.
You got to take out that pre-saucy mask.
Am I there?
There you go.
There? Can you hear me? So
Yeah, now we good.
for clarity, right? What Trump said was total regime change to liberate the Iranian people. And he said it was going to happen quick. And he said it was going to be so quick, it's going to be something that nobody has ever seen before. That's exactly what he said. And for the record, right? And you can fact check this. Iran's regime remains largely in place, even with the assassination of the Ayatollah. And there's no evidence that their leadership is going to be overrun or overturned anytime soon. You can fact
It is evidence. If they was not willing to negotiate, and now they're coming to the table saying, "Hey, we want to include America in our decision making."
America is only included. Stop. America's only included because, and the only reason they're having this discussion is because you attacked first. And now the reality is America has no inroad or no launching pad to get into Iran. Not one where they're going to be stable or they
you are
they
crazy. You are
weird. Hold on. Nah. Don't call me crazy.
You think America cannot? You think America can't go into Iran?
Chill. Go then. How come we ain't did it yet?
Oh,
we blew up their name. Hold on, Scrap. Hold on, Scrap.
Brownsville, from a military
perspective. Nah. Let me finish my point, then I'm gonna let Brownsville chime in. According to your man, according to the president, we blew up their navy. They got no air force, which means we're only dealing with their army on the ground. If we got all this superiority that we claiming about, how come we ain't push in yet? How come we ain't make landfall?
The resistance of America.
Resistance of America. What they got to do with anything? There's 5,000 troops.
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on. You pulled the brigade from Japan, which is specialized in land breaching, and you still can't get on. You still can't get on the ground.
This is crazy. Hold on, let me ask Brownsville, because I know Brownsville's from the military. If we wanted Brownsville,
Black is from the military as well. Either man.
Black using the military?
Air Force vet.
Oh, Air Force. Okay, Brownsville.
Oh, damn.
Brownsville. I just want to make sure I understand Brownsville. Oh, he's not there.
Now I'm here.
Also, Brownsville. I just want to make sure. If America wanted to advance troops on the grounds in Iran, do you think we would have a problem doing that?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes, I do. And what I mean by problem, let me clarify, right? So I'm not suggesting or saying that Iran's military capabilities supersede ours. That's laughable. That's not true. Right. What I am saying, though, is by problem, what I'm saying is there going to be a lot of lives lost on our side. Right. More more than Iraq, more than Afghanistan, and there's going to be billions and possibly $1 trillion lost when it comes to resources in order to completely take over Iran.
So do you agree with Black? Because Black is saying like we don't have the capability to do it. Do you agree with that, Brownsville?
No,
I didn't
we
say we
have
don't
the
have the capability.
capability.
We don't have the willingness. Because again, it's going to
We
end up being like
definitely
Normandy. No. It's going to end up being like Normandy. You're going to try to storm them, and they're going to be bodies laying all
we
over the
don't
beach and in
fight
that
that
sea.
way. We don't fight that way. Like what
You
you
don't have
said
a
is
choice.
no,
Whichever way you're going to do it.
crazy. Hello, you are crazy. Think that we go pull up a whole bunch of ships onto a beach and be able to just send soldiers out like we was in Normandy. And war. Come on, like this is crazy that people don't understand how we fight today. And I know Brownsville
Even,
is
even if
co-signing that.
Even
We're
if
not
you
gonna pull
agree,
up.
hold on. So even if I agree with you, we're not going to be sending waves of bodies at this. Again, I don't see how we have the tactical advantage or the equipment to breach a beachhead and take control of that area long enough to maintain it and then set up an actual base. We don't have it. And then once you start getting inland, you got to deal with their terrain, which they know better. Vietnam should have taught y'all that lesson a long time ago, but apparently we keep skipping over stuff. They're going to use guerrilla warfare. They're going to use tactics. They're going to use the terrain to their advantage, and they're going to make you pay for it.
Well,
Yeah, the end. So, Edom man, the end will not justify the means. There's a
Right.
reason why we exited Afghanistan, right? Because of what Black's talking about, that terrain and the steadfastness, fastness, and willingness of the Afghan people, that they was not going to just lay down like that, and they were going to continue to fight and continue to do their terrorist activities and things of that nature. And we knew that because part of and here's the thing, right? When we go into these other countries, right? We need things, we need help. We need them for to be translators for us. We need intelligence assets. We need to be able to have manipulative powers in order to create a force of Afghan people that are willing to do things the way we want them to do it, right? And what I'm saying is in Afghanistan, that wasn't possible. And that's why they abandoned and said, no, we're going to pull totally out because we are not able to totally just take over, right? And what Black is saying, Iran is going to be the exact same way. And if he's saying that, I agree.
All right, hello. That's not what he said, but let me ask this
That's
question, Brown.
what he said.
Hello.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, that's
Hello,
what.
hello. So, Brown, I got you. Hello, wait. Okay.
Hold on, Edom, because I don't want you to have a different premise. That was Black's premise, though. He might have misspoke on the capabilities versus the problematic of the situation, but that's what his overarching point was. He was trying to communicate.
So this is my final question, and this is for both of you guys. If we fail all of the other objectives, all of the objectives that y'all listed, and we only successful at these two, if we only change the regime and we completely dismantle their nuclear system, would this this campaign be successful?
No, because they can rebuild both. Much of their infrastructure is still intact. So even if we take out, let's say we take out their leadership, we change some segment of the regime, they're going to end up.
That's not what I asked.
Hold on. I'm just giving a quick synopsis. They're going to push out that segment of the regime that's vying for America, and they're going to rebuild their nuclear facilities. They're not going to stop.
Okay, Brownsville.
Based on Trump's objectives that he articulated, that he communicated, it would be a failure.
That's crazy.
Because the regime change that he spoke about was a regime change that would liberate the Iranian people. Right? So it's not what Black is talking about in terms of removing the Ayatollah and deleting a lot of the generals and things of that nature. He said what Trump said his goal, his vision was to liberate the Iranian people, and so he needed a government in place that was willing to do that. and that is what he said. So according to his own standard and his own objectives, it would be a failure.
Let me concede to that. So if they do those three, I'm gonna add that three. If everything else go wrong, they fail the other 8 things he did. But the 3 that they're successful with is dismantling their nuclear system, completely change out their regime, and I kind of included this one, liberate the Iranian people in that second one, but you made it into a third one. So if they do those 3 things, would it be successful? Would it say that that's 30% of the things he said? Would it be successful in your opinion, Brownsville?
So you're saying everything else was a failure? So
Everything failed. He did everything wrong. But if you did those 3 things, would this campaign be successful in your opinion?
So do we still not have control over the Strait of Hormuz?
We ain't got control over it. Everything else failed. You don't have to go one by one. Every other thing that he said failed, but those 3 things, would we consider a success?
So the Iranian people is liberated, right? And there's a total regime change, right? You're saying we totally dismantled their nuclear capabilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the third thing that we did?
Those are 3.
With just those, so with just those 2 things, if we just did those 2 things, would it be a success? It depends upon what we lost. It depends upon what we invested, right? That's why I mentioned the ends has to justify the means, right? So you can accomplish things, but if you put more into the investment, right? You could end up on a losing end, at the end. So it depends on what we lost in order to get there, is what I'm saying. If we have a significant loss of U.S. life.
Okay, you're right. Listen, at that point, if you say it depends based on what we lost, because this is the thing, is typically in war you lose something, right? And then when we start measuring how many lives was worth it, that's a tricky area to go in, and I'm not going to even go down that, right? Because it's just tricky. So the point that I'm saying, if it depends, cool. That means that the percentage thing that we was arguing earlier, that they had to have a 90% success rate or a passing grade based on a school statistics or a sales statistic, it's not the same. And that was the point that I was making.
No, it was a fair comparison. No, it was a fair correlation, because you have to have tangible, measurable objectives that you can say you accomplished, right? That you can hang your hat on. Obviously what it costs to get there is also taken into consideration. But if you come out of, let's say we come out of that operation and all of those objectives or most of those objectives have been met, regardless of what it costs, Trump can still say, hey, we won. We met our objectives, right?
Oh, listen, if he do those 3, he gonna say he won. Now, you agree with it?
Hold on. My issue, Edelman, my issue with Trump is he says he won when he accomplished nothing. He still says he won. And that's the problem that you guys don't admit.
No, I agree. I can see that at the beginning of this thing, we need to fact check what he said. I'm agreeing with you. We aligned that, hey, don't agree with everything. The point that I was saying, say for example, if this is hostage negotiations, right? And Sharon was the what's the person that I negotiate with, and if I'm the person with, I don't know the person, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? If I say, hey, I want $1 million, I want a plane, I want a cheeseburger, I want a pizza, and I want a drink, right? I say I want all these things, and they say, well, we'll give you $1 million a plane and we gonna give you the things that get you out of that situation, I was still successful at that negotiation. I just don't look at, when I look at wars, they have one thing that you have to accomplish in a war, and a lot of other stuff are fillers. That was the point that I was trying to make. I hope that makes sense.
Right, but the difference is
Objectives.
in that scenario you proposed, you weren't losing out on anything. You were just gaining everything, right? But in an operation such as Operation Epic Fury, we have to make investments in order to see the objectives through. And thus far, the investments that we've made, we have failed in seeing our objectives through, right? So the lives that we lost,
You can't
they
measure
were
lives.
lost in vain, right? The service members who have been injured thus far, they have been injured in vain because we haven't accomplished anything.
No,
That's the point.
that's I said, and anytime we measure lives with civilians, I will always lose. So I appreciate you having me, because like it don't matter what he accomplished. When we start talking about the loss of life, people gonna say, was that life worth it? And I just think that we can't even have that conversation really with civilians. So but I appreciate it. I think I just seen y'all beating up on LA. And I said, I ain't gonna let them go out like that, man. I gotta go give us a backup. And LA, forget you, bro. You left me up here. You supposed to stay up here and back me. You supposed to
No,
make
but
sure I
before
didn't
you
get
leave,
jumped.
man, let's move it. Let's move it, because I want your take on the record in regards to Donald Trump replacing the Honorable General Lloyd Austin with Pete Hegseth.
Don't do it with the program. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna ask that question. Just need 1 second.
Yeah.
Just let me know. All right. So yeah. So to answer your question, I don't look at this as a race thing. I'm sorry. I was talking to them. Thank you. I don't look at, give me 1 second, sir. I don't look at this as a race thing. I look at this as one general was not on his page to accomplish his things, and one person was agreed. Anytime we see CEOs go and take over companies, or they be able to change a source of power, they bring their people with them. And so people keep saying he fired this guy because he was black and this, that, and the third. I think he fired this guy because this guy did not agree with where he believed he was going as for a company, or in the sales world for as a country.
No,
So
I
I think,
agree with that. No, that's not in contention. That's not even what I want
I
you
thought that's what
to
you asked.
speak to. No.
And I
No.
apologize because I had multiple things. If you didn't ask that, I apologize. Go
Right.
ahead.
That's not even what I want you to speak to. Right. I just thought it was kind of apropos that General Lloyd Austin is black and Pete Hegseth was white, but that's not what I want you to speak to. I want you to speak to the qualifications and level of experience that are different. Right. So we
Absolutely.
understand.
Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got your question now. Absolutely. I think the general, anytime you replace a general with a major, most people don't understand this. It's a lot of ranks in between general and major, right? Let's be clear. I said on paper, without a doubt, the general is more qualified. He does see more things in the military, and I'm pretty sure clearance he just literally have experienced another level of what y'all have. So we go based off qualifications. Without a doubt, that general was more qualified, but I don't think it was about qualification. It was about who is going to push my mission first. And I believe majority of people who run countries and also companies really put their people in place that's going to push their mission forward and not going to push back against their mission. So
And
I hope
see,
that
and
answers.
that's where we agree. But man, to your point earlier though, you said when it comes to the military, it's different, and we can't really compare that to a civilian company, right? So let's stick to the military.
Even in the
right?
military,
So,
yeah. Even
hold on, man, right? We got a 4-star general here. We got a major here. When it comes to military operations, who should we trust more?
With a general. No, listen, I'm saying the general is more
Wait,
qualified.
what?
I'm gonna say that again.
Okay. I know you don't know nothing. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so the point that I'm saying is I'm saying that he was more qualified. I want to say it again. He had more military experience. I think when it comes down to who was fit to be in that position, he should have went from a general to a general, right? I'm okay with a 1 star. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. I might even concede to a full bird. If some of y'all might not understand what this means, but I do think that he was underqualified for that position. But the reason I think he was put in that position is because he was willing to be more on Donald Trump page. So yes, he should. I think it was a crazy hire, but I think he was moving in that moment, not like a military man, because he never served in the military. I think he was moving as a corporation, a businessman. And that's why I brought those correlations, because he
Right.
is a
And to
businessman.
your point, Edelman, right? So we understand this. Pete Hegseth is in a position to where he's making decisions for the U.S. military. Is that
Absolutely.
correct or not? Right.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
correct. Right. So when you see him make these decisions, telling the Army Chief of Staff of that time, General Randy George, to remove qualified minority senior leadership members from the opportunity to get promoted to the rank of general, right? At least 12 of them people, Pete Hegseth wanted them removed from the list, right? And Randy George said, no, I'm not doing it. And then Randy George ends up getting fired, right?
Yeah, so hold on. So I think the total people he asked to be removed was like 40 something, right? 45 people. And 12 of them was black, right?
Right.
It wasn't, because when you tell the story, you say he just wanted to remove these 12, but I think the list that he requested to be removed was multiple races. Do you at least concede to that, Brownsville?
Yes, but
Okay,
that's not the point. The
that
point,
is the point. That is a big factor, because Sharon, don't that changes everything if it wasn't just black people?
no, what changes is the reasoning. So what was the reasoning? Because here's the thing. He bumped heads with General Randy George, and Randy George, a 4-star general, the honorable former chief of staff of the United States Army, what he said is, I will not remove these names because these people are qualified.
So listen, I am understanding what you're saying. I'm understanding your flight, that you're saying, hey, these people, since they're qualified, they should get promotion. Matter of fact, we have known over the whole military history that person in that seat can remove people from that list. This is not a new thing. Do you agree, Brownsville?
Yes, it's not new, but
Okay, I love so, but
what's precedent? So let me ask you this: is it not precedent for the former? It used to be called the Secretary of the Army, or the Secretary of Defense, right? The Secretary of War. It's called the Secretary of War now, right? Was it precedent for the Secretary of War to lean on his military commanders, the Army Chief of Staff, the Secretary of the Army, when it came to promotions?
Yeah. So usually what happens is, like I said, we've seen both of these in the past, right? Especially if you go back to the Bush
No, I'm
campaign.
asking you
Hold on.
what is the precedent?
So I would say the majority, 51% of the time, what they do is they would say, hey, since we're coming from your leadership and for your reign, you have more knowledge in this area. So can I take your expertise, and then I take that information to apply it to it, right? So that's usually how that works, right? But we have seen, especially through campaigns, that people say, hey, I actually don't think that your expertise in this situation is accurate. So that's the point that I'm saying, is that yes to your question, most of the times they just listen to the person that they took power from, but it is also a large group of people that do their own thing, especially if the president, when you talk about the commander of chief, is telling you to do something different. I think that's what it is. I don't think this decision came from Pete. I
No, it
really think
did.
that
It did come from Pete. It did
there
come from
was some.
Pete.
So that's the point that I'm saying. I believe that this decision came way higher than Pete. I think that this beef, the people that out of all the people, because he fired, like I said, a whole bunch of white
but
people.
see, you're not aware of the facts. Is
Okay,
that
go
what you're
ahead.
saying?
No, I'm not aware of the. I'm not saying that I'm not aware of the facts. What I'm telling you is, I think Pete is just doing his job. I think somebody tapped Pete on his shoulder.
No, but that's not true. That's not true. Not in relation to these promotions.
Yes, what I'm telling you is, in my opinion,
So you're saying the reports. I'm talking about the reports that have came out about this. You're disagreeing with all of those reports that it was
I'm not disagreeing.
headset.
Well, I understand how the military work, and so how the military work is typically somebody got to take the fall, and I think Pete is the fall guy. Now,
No, but so you think the president, you think Trump knows the promotions and what's going on in the military?
absolutely, I think that at least he's been canceled by people. I think he's involved more than we think he is. I think
No, he's
especially
not, man. Come on.
especially with kind of what happened over the last 4 years, the people who spoke out against him and all of these things. I think he's very aware of that. Now, to the degree of what you're saying, I don't know, but I definitely think he's involved in it, without a doubt.
No, he's not involved with the day-to-day promotions, the senior military ranks. You know the chain of command, right?
Hold on. So you think senior leadership, he's not involved with that at all?
He's not involved
Donald
with
Trump?
he's not involved. He doesn't know these people, and he doesn't know the process, right?
That's
Pete
crazy.
Hegseth, that's his job, right? So he's the one who signs off on it, and then it goes to the Congress when it comes to promotion to a general officer, right?
So, but you don't think Pete and Donald Trump had a conversation about this?
I believe they did have a conversation, but what I'm telling you is, if Pete said, "Hey, I don't want Edelman Williams to be promoted to general," Trump wouldn't know who Edelman Williams was.
I think that's crazy. At that level, absolutely. I think at that level, because you know what you get. You get the promotion list, right? When you start talking about general, you get a list of people that's eligible for it. I think that Pete and him. I just think that Donald Trump is more involved in that than we give him
Okay,
credit.
so let me ask you
I don't
another
think he's
question.
ignorant to that. That's all I'm saying.
Do you think it could
I know they better
potentially
send some money. I ain't seen
One
no
last
green in the
question,
chat.
brother. One last question.
Hold on.
One
So
last
since
question.
we did not reach our $11 more goal, we're gonna go everybody's final thoughts, starting with Black, built like a concrete. What's your final thoughts?
Hold on, cuz
My final
they about to
thoughts.
send it right now. They about to send the 11 ball.
He said,
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
get
play
my
that.
point on just in case it don't happen. Just in case it don't happen, let me get this point across. The way this is coming across from Edelman Williams is that the military is built around yes men, and any military that's built around yes men has failed. I don't know which one you know that's been successful, but it ain't been that great. Yes men cause you to fail because if they see the problem, they're not gonna tell you that there's a problem. They're gonna be like, yeah, we can do this. Then you walk in, shit goes wrong, and you're gonna be crying about it. Like, nah, like listen, I'm not really worried about the leadership. Only thing I'm concerned about is the president, since he is the commander in chief. He gets to make the majority of the decisions. And what I'm looking at right now, like I keep mentioning, is we went in without a clear objective. You started some shit that you didn't have a way to know when it was over with, when it was going to be over. And in all honesty, Eden, man, you can look at this from any aspect that you want. This is now another forever war.
Well, no, because it's no such thing as a forever war. I don't know why people say
it's going to be a forever war.
No,
it's a war without a clear objective. That's a forever war. It's no clear objective. That is a forever war.
Well, let me get my final. I get my final thoughts. So listen. So the point that I'm saying is, it's not this idea that it's a forever war. We wasn't forever in Afghanistan. We wasn't forever in Iran. We was there for a long time, but it wasn't a forever thing, right? And the biggest thing is, to respond what Black said. key people. The president does not make most of the decisions in the military. I don't know why he said that. Definitely, these generals got a lot more power than people think they do, right? Now, we talk about big things, maybe invading countries, absolutely, but definitely majority of the things that are made by these generals. Shout out to Brownsville. This was a good conversation. I hope at the bare minimum, we educated people to start their research. Don't take what we say as facts. Our goal is to be able to, even though that we disagree on these things, that you start getting more involved with what's going on in your country than just taking the media or outlets of what they're saying. But I appreciate you having me up, Sharon.
No doubt. KT the GOAT, you there? KT was just chilling. I don't think KT is there. He's up doing things like he's on vacation in mode as well. He didn't like in his normal setup. Brownsville, New York, take us home.
Yeah, peace and love, y'all. Like I say, enjoy y'all weekend. And yes, just go ahead and become more situationally aware of what's going on in this country that we live in. Pay attention to the politicians, not what they say, but what they do. And you know, to my black MAGA conservative brothers, I need y'all to get out of the indoctrination that y'all are currently in right now. Y'all are sheep being led to the slaughter, and y'all gonna end up like the brother who came up earlier. I forgot his name, right? LA. But he doesn't know information, but he still believes everything that the administration tells him without even having to fact check. And that's a mistake. So let's do better, and let's spread peace and love.
Absolutely. And everybody, shout out to all the wrenches in the chat. Make sure y'all drop Voice of Venus link. I believe the Voice of Venus is live, and I believe she's talking politics as well. So please drop the Voice of Venus link in the chat so we can run over there, because she does not have redirect capabilities. I don't know why she don't have it, but she doesn't have it. So we could all go ahead and run over to the Voice of Venus and flood her. We could go ahead and let's go ahead and raid her channel right now. So anybody that has the Voice of Venus link, go ahead and drop the Voice of Venus link so we could go ahead and raid her, show some love. She is back streaming. So that's a beautiful thing. Man, this girl here is
About to be a situation. Hey, hey, hey.
Shout out to Elite Belt Zone 1 with the 10 ball. Super sticker. Thank you.
I told you the queens got you. I told you the queens got you. You just gotta give them a second. You know what I'm saying? The queens, listen, the queens are showing the kings how to lead right now. Right? They've taken the leadership mantle and they're showing them, look, this is how we lead. We're gonna practice what we preach, and we're gonna invest in what we believe in and who we believe in, right? And we're gonna fact check. They're not indoctrinated. They're doing their research. They're doing their due diligence. They're gaining the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in order to make informed opinions and decisions. And that's what I need my kings to start doing, right? I don't care if you're on the left or on the right. The least you can do, though, is to gain the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to make your opinions be informed. And I'm proud of the Black Conquering King, right? Because he's standing on his ability to fact check, his ability to say, hold on, something ain't right. So let me, be aware of what's going on.
Damn. He went out. Okay, he went out. KT the GOAT, this is your final chance. Thank you so much, Elite Belzo 1. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Black the Conquering King. Thank y'all so much. Now let's go over and He said, hold on, I ain't done. He said, hold on, cuz I ain't done. He said, which one we on? We on the off. Yeah, we gonna go ahead and we gonna go ahead and raid Voice of Venus. That's what we're gonna do. This is a productive one. Maybe I'll come back in a little bit. Maybe I'll come back a little bit later. We can have some, the guys to talk, because we know those are much easier for people to, enjoy. I think this is a great productive, but that's what we got to do over here at SBG. We got to have a clear balance. We got to have politics. We got to have the whole situation. We got to have our gossip, fun talks. We got to have our messy men Mondays, our wild out Wednesdays, foolery Friday, also on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and now Saturdays, where we're going to have productive conversations as well as dealing with the world. So shout out to y'all, man. She not live anymore? Let me see. What you mean? What you mean? Hold on. Let me check. Let me check. God damn it. That is hilarious. God damn.
So, cuz, what you think of? I heard a tour that just got announced. Apparently, Usher and Chris Brown are joining forces to do a world tour together. What you think of that?
You better hide your wives. I don't know. I think it should be both of them together. Lord. But yeah, I think that should be a fun tour. Chris Brown got a lot of music. Usher, clearly he doing his damn thing. He's gonna feature some goddamn strawberries. But I think it should be a good. They are both great performers, so it should be great, to be honest. I don't know. They probably gonna be trying to outdo each other. So that should be great competition as well for how the show is going to build. It sounds good. They should have did a versus first and then announced the tour. That's what they should have done, because that would have been great to see. Look, now he back. What you got to say for yourself? What you got to say for yourself, young man?
Hey, I didn't do nothing. I'm going to get my hair done. I was training this morning, so I was listening in and out of the store.
You came back to tell us how you bought your tickets to the Usher and Chris Brown concert?
No, apparently I bought my tickets to the R. Kelly release, though.
R. Kelly's getting released too?
That appeal judge was a beast.
What you mean? So R. Kelly's is set to be released? I thought it was P. Diddy.
No. Diddy is what I meant. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
R. Kelly's never getting out. Yeah. R. Kelly's never getting out.
That's kind of crazy. So you happy for P. Diddy being released?
Absolutely not. Like, well, I don't care that he's out on. Right. It doesn't affect me either way. He is what he is. Like, in reality, he's just a freak.
I thought he just had an appeal recently. You're saying that that they already made a decision?
Went to the Fifth Circuit, the Second Circuit. Apparently, the circuit judges have apparently sided with them, but I don't know how solid that is.
Both of y'all connections sounding crazy.
Sorry, I just hit Vane. I got a Google alert by it. So Google could also be tripping.
What's your thoughts, cuz? You gonna go to the concert?
Yeah. So the tickets aren't on sale yet. But yeah, me and my wife definitely. That's definitely the next tour we gonna hit. You know what I'm saying? I believe that tour is gonna be pretty good, entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Show to watch. And as you said, hey, you know, a lot of people wanted them to do a versus, right? And what they said is they gonna do a versus, but they just gonna take it on a tour. So yeah, I think, you know, I'm sure the tickets are gonna be pretty expensive, but I think it's gonna be worth it. The show itself is gonna be worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think especially both of them being so highly competitive, it's gonna definitely be they're gonna be trying to upstage each other in a friendly fire type of way. So I think it's a good
because
idea.
they just not, you know, those brothers are performers. They not just singers. You know what I'm saying? So the stage presence and, you know, yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a dope show.
So I guess nobody got to redirect. I'm gonna go ahead and take a nap. How many people we got here? All right, we didn't do too bad. We are 4 cents short. We 4 cents short of the goal. I will scream at y'all later. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna keep on pushing now that I figured out everything. We can get back to regular schedule, back to cooking up, back to doing doing what we do.
I'll send you a 4 cent later.
And I'm gonna keep on pushing. I'm gonna do my best to make up for some more shows. That was you know how they were. I was struggle streaming, so I'm gonna try to make up for those struggle streams. Shout out to y'all. Salute. See y'all soon.
Nothing wrong with being. Let me